Welcome everybody. Good afternoon. I'm still not feeling 100%, unfortunately. My throat is still killing me, but we're working on it. So, welcome to Twisted Tragedies. I am Elise, your host, where we follow all the twists and turns wherever they lead. Good afternoon, everybody. I have like a list of things that we have to talk about since I saw you last Tuesday, which is insane to me. There's always a list, right? But I want to start with the most important thing to me real quick. Let me just pull it up here. I started this channel, a lot of you know, for a number of reasons, but one of them being my friend Mickey, who went missing way back in 2006, and here we are 18 years later, and he has not been found. But there was some movement that I'd like to think that we had something to do with here on this channel in his case. They say that there's been some movement in the last few months. I have covered Mickey's case twice. He's a dear friend of mine. And I thought it would be appropriate to start this stream off with what I found out the other day as I was streaming with you guys and asking you guys to do something nice for someone as your little homework assignment and report back to me today. This was happening in real time. And so as soon as I got off, this was something that I got off my stream and immediately had messages about and was so happy to see this. So I'm going to bring it up on the screen and play it. Yes, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you can, at the bottom of the screen is how you can donate to our channel. We only run on donations from our viewers like you guys. So if I'm not reading them, I'm not getting them. So I appreciate the support, and we're trying to grow little by little over here and do some good in the world. And I can't do that without you guys' help. So, all right, I'm going to bring this up. All right. I'm going to make it bigger, or try to make it bigger. Hold on. Oh, come on with this stupid pop-up. Okay. All right. We are going to talk about all the Karen Reed stuff, but because Mickey is one of the reasons why I started my channel as a dear friend of mine, I think it's only appropriate to start with his case. There's a clip from what happened, and I'm going to play it. These pictures here are my friend, Mickey, as we called him. His name's Miguel Oliveras. But the people that loved him and cared about him, he was Mickey to us. We made fun of his Papi Chulo tattoo on his back, and we called him Papi Culo. And I was just happy to see some movement in his case so that we can bring him home.
Get ready, theme park fans. Epic Universe is officially opening in May 2025, and it's going to be out of this world. When you plan your visit, don't just stay anywhere.
Yeah.
New information in the disappearance of a Boston man who vanished in Portland back in 2006. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Lagerquist.
And I'm Stephanie Grinley. 24-year-old Miguel Oliveras was asked to leave the then Platinum Plus Gentlemen's Club on Riverside Drive the night of September 3rd. He was last seen on a surveillance camera leaving this club. CBS 13's Brad Rogers is live outside the former club for us.
Yeah, and Brad, his mother, who was at today's news conference with Portland police and the FBI,
Myrna.
She says she suspected foul play all along.
Yeah, she believes, Greg, that that basically her son was lured to Maine and was killed after leaving the club that night. Now, Portland police and the FBI Southern Maine Gang Task Force have new leads into his disappearance.
We've had some new developments in this case.
Armed with new information into Miguel Oliveras' disappearance after leaving this club on Riverside Drive, Portland police and the FBI have been working hard the last 5 months to locate Miguel and close this case.
We strongly believe someone out there knows what happened to him after he left the club.
The FBI and Portland police investigators would only tell us there has been positive movement in the case.
We do have a working theory. We've shared part of that with families.
Police are not saying if they have suspects in Miguel's suspicious disappearance.
Everybody that we have identified, we've borderline talked to all of them. I don't think there's a lot of people that we don't know who was involved at this point.
Today, the FBI offered a new reward for truthful information that leads to Miguel.
And the FBI is announcing a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to Miguel's location or the recovery of his remains. Our goal with this reward is to incentivize anyone with information about Miguel's whereabouts to come forward.
2 years ago, divers searched the nearby Rock Row quarry, but did not find Miguel's body. Law enforcement officers told us today they want to close this case for Miguel's mother and his family.
Our hearts are with his family, especially his mom, Myrna, who's been haunted by his mysterious disappearance for years. This might provide the incentive to come forward.
Myrna Gonzalez was at the news conference, but did not want to speak. She did give this brief statement saying, "It has been a long time. I just want to find him and bring him home. I need people to come forward."
If you have any information about the disappearance into Miguel Oliveras, please call Portland Police or the FBI. You can also leave an anonymous tip and still get the reward. And we've posted that contact information on our web story at WGME.com. We're live in Portland. Brad Rogers, CBS 13 News.
All right, Brad, we certainly hope for answers soon.
Me too. Because, I mean, we just want to bring him home, right? Mickey just needs to be brought home. And I'm glad that the FBI is now giving a $10,000 reward. I am going to go over that motion, the Sewer Turtles motion too. But we all just want Mickey to be brought home so he can be buried properly and people can say their proper goodbyes without not knowing where his remains are located. So I really hope that, us covering his case and putting some eyes on it the last 2 years has pushed some forward movement into his case. As we know, there is some forward movement in the last 2 years, which is, it lines up with the timeline of when I started my channel. So, and I've done his case twice because he's a dear friend of mine. And I just hope that whatever information they have and whatever information they're looking for to put the pieces of the puzzle together, that they do. I mean, it's been 18 years, Ashley. There's really not a good chance that he's alive. That club that he left from, I worked at, that gentleman's club in Maine. And I wasn't working that week. You could just work when you wanted. There was like no schedule. So like you could just pop in a day or two here. And so what I would usually do is I would go up for a week or a weekend and then work a bunch of days, stay at a hotel across the street. And him and his girlfriend at the time were my roommates back home here. She also worked there. He went there to meet her and left the club. I was asked to leave because he was sort of like making her lose money by like just being a part behind basically. And so he was supposed to go back to the hotel, left with some guy who we think works in the kitchen there, possibly to get drugs, and was never seen again. I wasn't working that week, so I sometimes wish that I was there. I could have got more information. I feel like somebody would have told me something, like, but I wasn't there. So, but it's been 18 very long years, and Mickey needs to be brought home to the people that care about him. So let's just hope that whatever the FBI has, they're now offering a $10,000 reward to where his remains are. And about 2 years ago, they did look in that reservoir right near the gentleman's club, but they didn't find anything. So I'm hoping that he's in that area and they just need like a smidgen more information to just nail down a location on where he is. So fingers crossed, I guess. Mickey's case was one of the reasons I started this channel, along with my friend's mom who went missing in Hanson right before the pandemic and still has not been found. And there's a lot of between both of those cases, a lot of things that I see that happen in a lot of the missing person cases. I will not say that the Portland police were forthcoming or helpful. They weren't. He was a Hispanic male. We're talking way back in 2006. And they didn't do their job. It's really that simple. Boston told his mother to file a missing persons report in Portland, and Portland told her to file it in Boston. Boston said it's Portland's jurisdiction, which it is. Vice versa. Nobody did anything for months and months and months because of that. And then when the detective that was assigned to the case eventually retired, it was handed over to a woman detective who didn't touch his case for a year, told Myrna, Mickey's mom, that, it had been assigned to someone else. That was a lie. It was not assigned to someone else. So she had to go up through the chain, and a year had been wasted by the time it actually was forcibly given to that detective who didn't really do much. So I'm guessing that's when the FBI had to step in. And it is interstate, so the FBI should have been involved a long time ago, So I just ask that everybody say a little prayer that they can get the information they're looking for, and we can bring Mickey home, and that you can share the post that I made the other day about it. That would really be helpful, because if anybody shares it and someone from Maine sees it, maybe they know the right people to direct it to, and maybe those people after 18 years will be willing to speak on something that they know that they've stayed quiet for 18 years, So I would appreciate if you guys shared that post I made about Mickey the other day on my X account, because I feel like the more people that see it, the better chance the FBI has of getting that information. So I thought it appropriate to start this stream with that information, hence me starting with that information, because he's part of the reason why I started this channel. So thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. Exactly, Angela. If we can do nothing else, being a voice for the victims is understated. It is. It is. Yeah. I mean, you can also just share one of the articles about it and just put the word out there on any of your social medias or to Facebook. You can just, click on one of the articles and then click the share button, and it'll give you the option to share it on any social. So you can also just copy the URL at the top and share it that way too. And I would greatly appreciate that. It's a hard subject for me to even talk about. I have to stuff back tears, but Mickey was an amazing soul, a good person, and he didn't deserve to be left out there in Maine for 18 years without being found. And I sense that they must be getting close to finding his remains if the FBI is now offering a reward. So let's pray that that's exactly what's happening. And with that, we will dig into this cluster absolute fuck, excuse my French, of the Karen Reed case for the last couple days, because holy shit, do we have some shit to talk about. So, all right. Hi, Jack. Hi, Frank. All right. So we got a couple things. The defense, always lying. Always lying with these guys. I don't know. I guess I was one of the only people that kind of picked up on it, but just a little while ago, I don't know if it was, a week, 2 weeks, I couldn't tell you the exact date that it happened. You guys would have to go back and look up through keywords and transcripts and all that crap. But the defense team told the court that they did not know whether the jurors were deliberating jurors or alternate jurors, because the ones that spoke to media, because they were anonymous, right? So they didn't know if they were deliberating or alternate. We know that that is a lie, because they have been speaking with Victoria since the beginning of all of this, jurors coming out. She was one of the first, of course, along with Ronnie, to talk to news stations and talk to the defense. And so when they said to the judge, "Oh, we don't know, Your Honor, they are anonymous," they knew that was a lie. And it's very clearly a lie. As we know now, with all the articles that Victoria did, she kind of gave them away. I find it funny that she tries to, like, at the end of the Vanity Fair article, she tries to make it sound like she's only reaching out now because they didn't dismiss it, which we know is a lie because the news stations told us that she had already been doing articles and talking to them before that. So we know that she was also talking to the defense because she's one of the jurors who were talking to the defense. So you talked to the defense and you told them you didn't agree and that Karen was found not guilty, but they don't know who you are. You're anonymous. Like, if you expect, just like the judge did last time, the court to actually believe that, then you have got another thing coming. Like, again, to just sort of spit in the face of the court, it really starts to irk me in a way, because you're going to sit there and say, we don't know, the juror is anonymous, and then the juror comes out and says all this crap, and it's like, you want a judge to believe that you're not lying again, but all the evidence proves that you absolutely 100% are lying again. Like, I don't think that we will see much in way of the judge doing anything. I mean, I could be wrong, but, you know, since I've said this a million times, it was a mistake to not remove these attorneys. It was a mistake. And it'll continue to be a mistake. And it'll continue to sort of kick the judge in the ass for not doing it, because they're not just going to magically stop lying. They're not going to magically stop stretching the truth, because that's what they've been doing this whole time. Their whole story and conspiracy depends on them lying and stretching the truth. Come on. I've thought about that, Angela, and it seems to me as if she absolutely knew things about this case before she became a juror. Some of the things she said lead me to believe that. That's my opinion. But I do believe that she knew about this case before she was picked as a juror. She can play it off all she wants, but it's not really helping her. Also, I do think that we will see something from Hank about her joining the defense team, because this is an ethics issue. Yes, we don't have a case where a juror tried to do this, because normal jurors who are lawyers don't then try to get on the defense team of the person who they were on the jury for. You're not supposed to have contact with the jury, whether you're the defense or you're the Commonwealth. You're not supposed to talk to them about certain things, like, no matter what. So clearly that has been done improperly if Yannetti has hired her on and they want her on this case. So I do think we will see something from Hank about this, and I do think you will hear something maybe tomorrow from Judge Cannoni when Hank brings it to her attention. I agree with you, Anna. In some cases, in some states, they're not allowed to, for that very reason. But it's an ethics issue. It's an ethics issue. It is. I do believe Hank will bring it up. I don't know how you couldn't. If I'm Hank, I don't just not bring it up. Of course, I have to bring that to the court's attention, because the judge is not supposed to do any outside anything on this case. So if it doesn't get brought to the judge's attention, then she may not know. So, you know, I know she knows the names of the jurors, but, you know, she may not say anything unless someone brings it up. I do believe Hank will bring something to the court's attention to this, because where it has not been done before, I would still argue it is a huge ethical issue and a huge conflict. You were a juror on this defendant's first trial. I don't think it's proper for you to be counsel then for that person. Now, mind you, also, she's not even a criminal attorney. She is a civil attorney, okay? She's an employment attorney for things like discrimination in employment. I know that law like the back of my hand, but that is nothing like criminal law. You know what I mean? Like, well, that's exactly it, Jack. They feel like they can get away with anything. It's almost like the sewer turtle, where he just thinks he can get away with everything. He's sadly mistaken, and I think so are they, but he's very sadly mistaken. I just think he thinks because, like, he hasn't sat in a jail cell again yet, that magically, like, he'll wriggle out of all of it, and it'll all, he'll be able to scream from the rooftops that, like, see, I didn't do it. All the charges were done. The charges are not going to magically be dropped. He lives in La La Land if he thinks that he's somehow wriggling out of this. I think there's got to be more to come when it comes to him. And I think there's got to be more to come when it comes to charges when it comes to him. She should have booted them. I agree with you, Ashley, with all the lies from them. She absolutely should have. 100% should have. So when I checked the docket this morning, yeah, they are. They're exactly, Angela. They're in the wrong direction. They're looking in the wrong place. We will probably hear about that because it's still outstanding whether they're going to be allowed to do third party in this trial or not. So, yeah, again, I agree with you. I said the same thing. He got up and immediately did the exact same thing, which was lie again. Right after she yelled at them for doing it, he did it again right there. And it's like frustrating. It's extremely frustrating for the judge not to do something. I have seen judges deal with far less and freak out on counsel one way or the other, Commonwealth or defense, acting in this manner. So I don't know. To me, it's kind of frustrating that she doesn't do anything. Like, it's time to do something, Your Honor. Time to do something. Why are these boxes all of a sudden much bigger? I feel like. I guess we'll stick with the bubble, but like, I feel like they made them bigger again. Like, come on, man. Covering the whole screen with it. What? Yeah, that's no. Yeah, I understand that. And also, though, Grant was saying that like they're being dragged back into the court. They're not being dragged back into the court. That motion did not say anything about them being dragged back into the court. The motion says that that Cosgrove gave the materials that he's supposed to. That's Cosgrove putting on record. I gave the materials to both sides as I was supposed to. And anything else that needs to go forward, whether it be brought into evidence or not, on the things that Hank got from the Sewer Turtle's phone would have to be brought in front of the court again. And obviously has to be in short order because the trial starts on the 1st with jury selection. So what the motion read was basically you'll have to deal with this in court whenever you guys can go there soon, because the trial starts soon. It wasn't them saying, get in here right now and let's deal with that. That would be being dragged into court. They're not being dragged into court. That motion was a formality that always happens. Cosgrove saying, hey, I did my part and I gave the thumb drive of the stuff from the Sewer Turtle's phone over to both sides in this case. Anything further on this, they're going to have to see the court for, which they're going to do tomorrow at 10 a.m. and we will be covering it. I know Dewdrops, I kind of have to, but don't count out when it comes to Hank. He is very savvy. He is extremely intelligent and he does not skip details. That is, he is attention to detail type guy. Like that's what he does, So just pay a lot of attention to Hank because he's a very smart man, But exactly, Kelly. It's exactly why they should have booted them, because they are only as good as their word. Exactly like the judge said, she needs to be able to believe them, and she can't. Now she has to double and triple check every single thing that they say. Every single thing that they say. But just like Angela says here, don't you count Hank out. Hank pays attention. That's what Hank does. I have lost faith in this judge when it comes to doing anything. But I feel like Hank will bring to light issues that will almost force her to at least address it in the court out loud, because he's not just going to let it go. There's no chance he just lets it go. But that's good. He shouldn't just let it go. It shouldn't happen. Kelly said, I can't believe someone higher up hasn't spoke up about a judge allowing all this crazy into the courtroom. Well, here's the thing. She's the chief justice over in that court. So that's half the problem, right? Is she's the chief justice in the superior court. So she is the highest up judge in that court, So, this won't stop all proceedings and be appealed. This isn't going to stop proceedings. The trial will continue on. This isn't just going to magically stop proceedings. If the judge disallows the former jury member to be a part of the defense team, she's doing it because it's an ethical issue. If she continues on, then she continues on. I think Hank just continues on, but it's not just going to magically stop the trial. The judge's job is to make sure that the trial stays on track. That's part of her duties as a judge. So this isn't going to, she's not going to allow them to throw some ridiculous nonsense in to stop the trial. They're already trying to. When it comes to the First Circuit, the federal appeals court said, no, we're not going to stay your trial. So then Karen tried her luck again at the First Circuit, and I promise you they're going to slap it down as well and say, no, we're not going to stay your trial. So, you know, I highly doubt there will be any stopping of this trial or halting of anything that's going to happen with this case. It's going to go forward. It's the judge's job to make sure it goes forward and on time. I don't know if he'll go that far, Angela, because I don't think it's that important. That trial is over. So it doesn't really matter what that juror was doing before, during, and after at this point, because that trial is over and they're on to a second trial. I doubt that they have time to go and even try to look at that. Not that it's even relevant. It doesn't change the evidence in Karen's case, whether she's guilty or not. So it's not really something I think the court's going to do is look into her like that. I just don't see that happening. And how was she able to even be on the witness panel at all? And how is she now allowed to be a lawyer? Well, she was already a lawyer. She wasn't a witness. She was a jury, alternate juror. But you make a good point. I mean, maybe Bev will just be in the defense team next if they just keep letting people in that make no sense. This is why Better wasn't allowed, because it was a serious ethical issue. They do lie, delay, confuse. But the judge has already seen them try to delay. That's not going to happen. She's not going to allow them to keep delaying it. She's been very strict when it comes to that. And I don't think you'll see that she's going to allow them to delay it at all. So I just want to correct that it's I don't see that happening. They're not just going to stop all proceedings in the trial. I can't either. Hi, Leah. I can't either, Anna. It really bugs me. It really, really does. She makes it her own personal fashion show. Aren't I so great, you guys? No, you're not. You're a murder defendant. You killed somebody. You're not great. You're actually awful. Oh man. So I do have the motion. You guys want to read it? It's quite funny. That the Sewer Turtle filed, saying it's all a conspiracy, and all of the information they get, they're just feeding to people like Kate. It's freaking hilarious. If you guys want to read it, I'll read it to you because it's pretty funny. No worry on spell check. We are not the spell Gestapos over here. It's the internet, and I don't care. Most people online that are fixing everybody's spelling, I'm does it matter? It's online. They're not writing in, a theory for their professor. They're not writing a class paper. They're just online. If you have a phone like mine too, the keyboard's tiny and my fingers are fatter than the tiny keyboard. So, all right, I have the motion right here. It's funny though. It's funny. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty funny. You guys might get a good kick out of this. Well, they did use the Signal app. We know that. Yeah, I got some not so nice words as well. Believe you me. Yes, I would love that if everybody hit the like button. I would. That would be amazing if y'all could hit the like button and the subscribe button if you already haven't. And if you want to donate to the channel, that's the information right at the bottom of the screen there. We only survive off donations from you guys, so I would really appreciate it. So Anna said I may have stayed up until 3 a.m. watching critiques of her new show. Oh boy. The judge needs to hold the defense accountable and not allow this circus. This is a murder trial, not the Karen Read show. I agree, Kathy, with you 1,000% and then some. And Emily hit the nail on the head. Everything that they do is as a PR. They have a gag order. Remember that, guys. So the only way that they can do shit now is stunts like this. It's the only way to rile up their base, right? Rile up the free Karen Reed people is to do shit like this and give them something to talk about, right? So it is what it is. I'm full of bad choices. I love you. That's another thing. It's almost like they're trying to make it so big that they have to use a different courtroom. Someone pointed out to me and I'm like, that could be. But funny part about it is they're the ones that bitched and whined about the big courtroom. And that's how they got the little one. So they can't then go back and be like, well, we're just kidding. We want that one back, even though we made such a big stink out of it. So it's like, oh, what? Add a bunch of people to make it so that they're not going to go back to the other courtroom. So I don't know what they're, the judge will be like, make it work, figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. Like that's what will happen because there's only 2 courtrooms that are set up for trials. The little one and the big one. That's it in that courthouse. So with a guilty verdict, will she be taken directly to jail after sentencing? Yes. Yes, she will be. She will not be allowed out to just sit there while there's an appeal. If she's found guilty, she will go to jail. No, she has no criminal background experience. She's a civil attorney, like I said earlier. She has nothing to do with criminal law at all. She's an employment attorney for like discrimination in employment and like, that kind of stuff. Like she's not a criminal attorney. Like, so that's the thing. The optics of that, and I find it really funny that this alternate juror who cried when she wasn't picked as a regular juror, by random, mind you. But I find it funny that she says something like, well, Hank Brennan said something about the justice system, people not believing in it and how it has to remain like fair. And it's like, you're bitching and saying that like what he's doing or what the Commonwealth's doing isn't fair because it should all just be dismissed, right? That's your personal opinion, lady. And that has to be with a lot of ignoring evidence, okay? That you're just flat out ignoring. And you're saying like, oh, well, you can't believe the evidence because Michael Proctor said she's a whack job. Well, she is a whack job. So Michael Proctor wasn't wrong. So there you go. But you can't just deny evidence because you don't like what Michael Proctor said. The data from her car couldn't have been tampered with. You can't tamper with that. You can't change her car data, right? So you're just going to ignore that evidence because you don't like what Michael Proctor said. That's not your job as a juror, right? But as she's going to sit there and bitch about the justice system and the optics and what it looks like, well, from here, it looks like a juror tried to insert herself into a jury. And then when she didn't get on the deliberating end and got pissed about it, now she wants to do whatever she can to help Karen get away with murder. Now, the optics of a juror trying to join a defense team, does that look very fair when it comes to the law? Because, like, no. So the lack of self-awareness to me is a big red flag because a lot of these people that just consistently believe this conspiracy theory, especially the more nasty ones, have no self-awareness whatsoever. None. Like, oh, girl, you don't got to tell me. I go from 0 to 100 all the time when it comes to this case. Makes me want to, like, throw things. I'm telling you. Like, it's amazing some of the things people will believe when they're told it numerous amounts of times over and over. That's how a cult works, Yeah, you got to, Hank gets a lot of emails and phone calls, and I'm sure he's got boatloads of stuff, boatloads of screenshots and clips, and as soon as it happens, Hank basically has it. Just know that, like accidentally on purpose, add Hank to that signal chat. Like, yes, exactly. And that's what the judge is going to see it as. It's kind of a slap in the face to the court because she has no criminal justice experience, She was already a lawyer before she was a juror, but still, she still only like got on the bar. I think it was 2021. So I can't remember if she's that juror that was drinking and told everyone like at the bar and was recorded that like she was already a free Karen. I don't know if that was her or a different one, but either way, there were numerous jurors that were let go for various reasons like that. And that's the proper way to do it. A juror is not supposed to be discussing the case anywhere. Yeah, exactly. Smash that son of a bitch. Smash that like button for me. she needs to get control of her courtroom, Kim. I agree with you. Yeah, there was one that was kicked off for that. I just don't know if that one was her. It is a clown show, Anna. It's insane. I will tell you though, Peggy and Paul, they're rock stars. The stuff they have to deal with is nobody on planet Earth should have to deal with this stuff. Like the stuff that they deal with on a daily basis. And I feel awful for them. But they do see the support. They do see you guys. They do appreciate it. Just know that, you know? Yeah, they do have a big one. And Karen wanted the little one because they complained about where the witness box was. So now they're stuck with the little one. That's on them, you know? I don't know if that was her or not, but if it was, like, it's like, come on, dude, you expect us to believe that magically you knew nothing about this case as stop it. No. But yes, it's very much a PR stunt. It's part of what they do. It's part of what they've been doing this entire time, really. Like, you know, it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, to show the, like, what the jury was talking about. You're not supposed to talk to jurors about anything the jurors talked about when you're a defense team or the Commonwealth. It's improper. So I don't know how they're going to try to get around that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, Marianne said, Karen went back before picking up Jen Carey. His BP was so low, she thought he was dead. Explains why she ran up, pulling her shirt up and rubbing his body. She knew she had his DNA. It's possible, but we do know that there were no signs of life when they got there. That John wasn't breathing and didn't have a heartbeat when they got there. They took him because they have to warm the body up before they can call time of death and say that you're gone. But according to Karen on that new documentary, she told us that there was no signs of life of John when they got there at all. So. But the Lexus data, but exactly. But we got a lot of Lexus data. Psst. There's a lot of data, a lot of random different kinds of data that don't help Karen. Psst. Yeah, he did. He said it out loud too in the documentary. You can hear him say it. Like, do you see how crazy she is? She's more worried about what she looks like on Channel 4. Like, and it's true. That's all she cared about was what she was going to look like on the news. You should really be caring more about what you're charged with and that you're being cuffed again and stuffed into a cop car. Like, they tried to at one point key cycle and delete stuff, but they didn't do it correctly. So, you know, I have to imagine, Taylor, that some of them are not too happy. Probably not too happy, but also some of them probably just don't care because the amount of donations they get per like stream of theirs, like they get like it just keeps rolling in on that side. So like I love when they call anybody who's telling the truth on this side of grifter because it's like, psst, you have to have something to grift. You have to act like if there's no money over here. There's no like vast amounts of money for saying the truth because people don't want to hear it. Like the amount of money that is being thrown at Karen and all the conspiracy theorists is insurmountable when it comes to the little bit that like people who tell the truth because no one over there wants to hear it. They just don't want to hear the truth. It's that simple. Like, so I love when they say something stupid like that because it's like, you don't even make sense. Like, you don't even make sense. Most of us come here and don't even make like $10 an hour. Like it is what it is. Like, so for them to say anything like that is just, I just laugh at it at this point. Like, I just laugh at it. Like, she could have, and he would be. Didn't she say, like, at least if she listened to her parents, you know? Oh, you're an employment lawyer? So, SXT, I'm sorry, I don't want to, like, butcher your name, says, I'm an employment lawyer, and let me tell you, I have no business involving myself in criminal law, discrimination, and fair pay. I'm your girl, but not murder. I agree with you. Most people who take a portion of the law and practice it, it's because they're either not interested in the other parts. The part that they do makes them the most money, but that's the one they're most knowledgeable in. So if you're practicing civil law for your entire career, then you're not. And let's get real. She just got barred in 2021. She probably hasn't done a criminal trial ever in her life, other than mock ones at law school. I mean, I've done mock ones. Like, I don't believe that she would have any experience to be sitting on a defense team in a criminal trial as a civil lawyer, you know, like, but you know, whatever. Yes. So, I don't know if any of you knew this. Some of you obviously did because Eva did. But in iPhones and even in some Androids, the Signal app you can actually get into some of the Signal app messages and some of the information from the Signal app because if it's backed up onto the cloud. So I'm dying to see what they pulled from his phone. Because I mean, I know that he took screenshots. There's no doubt. His ego would not have not let him take screenshots of some of the Signal communications he had with Karen. It's just not possible. So I know those have to be there. They just have to. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah, she didn't deliberate. She was an alternate, but she was still dismissed. They still dismissed her as a juror. Whether you're an alternate or not in Massachusetts, she was dismissed as a juror. So it doesn't matter one way or another whether you were dismissed as a juror or dismissed as an alternate, other than when you're dismissed as a juror, an alternate fills your place. She was still dismissed. Gone. They dismissed her from being on the jury at all. So that's the thing. We can't confirm whether that was actually sent out, Kimmy, to residents or if it was just something they posted online. So I don't know. Well, that's another thing. You have to raise your hand every single day and say you don't know anything about the case. You haven't heard anything about the case. And if you did, you have to report it. And if every day they raised their hands, right? Every single day they said they didn't see anything about it. She just told us she saw a billboard and she talked to the judge, but it's like, I'm confused because if all of you raised your hand and said you hadn't heard anything about it, how could you be reporting it? That doesn't, you know what I mean? Doesn't make sense. Put the dog bites. Yeah. The dog bites with no DNA, no bites. Hank got the teeth and the paw prints too when he went down there. Yeah. Let's see how she acts tomorrow morning, you know? Yeah, something about if she thought something was funny. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Oh, because she wasn't picked as a regular juror. She was all pissed off. Like, that's life, honey. Get over it. She wanted to be, the main juror, like she was in a different trial as a juror. Like, she should be banned from ever being on a jury ever again. Just saying. And it's like common sense anyway that like if her name comes up in something, people are going to know it now. And they're going to be like, yeah, no, we don't want that lady as a juror. Like, no. They might be stopped if the feds don't rule on her pending appeal. So that's the thing. I believe they'll give a ruling soon before trial starts officially, because you got like days of picking the jury and stuff anyway. But the judge doesn't want to swear the jury in until they figure out what's going on with the federal appeals court. I have no doubt that her federal appeal will be denied. Anyway, so it's just a waste of time, really, is what it is. But that they know it's going to be denied. Their point is to go all the way up to the Supreme Court and have the law be changed and have it struck down as unconstitutional and blah, blah, blah. It's not going to happen. But like, that's what they're ultimately trying to do. So they know that it's probably going to be denied. It's just another one of those things where they, have to do it to get up to the Supreme Court. But it's like, you're wasting time and you're wasting money. Like, there's solid legal ground for why. Like, 65 pages. It was so long. Some apps don't, but he has two phones. So what he does is he takes one of his phones and he takes a screenshot of his other phone that it's on. That's why he has two phones. He's been doing that for a long time. I'm wearing pink and I cried a lot because Karen was not a good. Yeah, pretty much. They're ruining pink for me. Pink is my favorite color and they're freaking ruining it for me, It was sent to the residents. Well, if If Peggy brought it to the courthouse, then I can only imagine that Hank has brought that up or will bring it up at some point. There are reasons why he might want to wait, you know, like Hank knows what he's doing. He's a very intelligent man. He knows exactly what he's doing. I actually know a couple of people looking for a civil employment attorney if you are Massachusetts based. There are a couple of people who called me recently asking, hey, Beach Dance. I don't think it'll take more than a week to seat the jury because they have a ridiculous amount of jurors. I think maybe 4 or 5 days to pick them. I mean, I was going to do voir dire and all that stuff. So maybe like a week and a half total, I think. It's just a guess, but it's my best guess, you know. It is, Leon. It is amazing how like the real conspiracy stuff is happening right in front of people's eyes. And they're like, look over there, though, where there's no evidence of any conspiracy. Just look that way. Don't look at this, where all of the evidence that something shady is going on. Just go over there and look where there's zero evidence of anybody doing anything wrong other than Karen, where the FBI already looked at everyone except Karen, and she's the only one who wasn't cleared. But nope, definitely look over there. Don't look here. Like that's, it's amazing to me. Like it's definitely weird. He clearly hired her on purpose. And it's like, at this point though, I think they know they've thrown their reputations out a window. They just know that. They know that they have, because ultimately they know they're going to have a BBO complaints. And I would hope that numerous people at this point have already filed one, and anybody can, anyone can, like on these attorneys, because no attorney should ever be allowed to do the things that they did here and get away with it and still practice law. It's deplorable. Like, yeah, he's been saying that for a long time. Let me clue you in on something. He's a liar. There is. He just keeps saying that because he knows that if he just says things over and over to his mob of people, that when the actual like information comes out, he can just say, they made it up. It's a conspiracy. And then his mob will say, he already told us there was nothing in those phones. There was nothing in those phones. So you had to have gotten that and made it up and put it in there. Like, that's his MO, dude. We know that there's shit in his phones. Whether it's wiretapping, we know that there's wiretapping because he wiretapped Steve Scanlon, and he loved to record phone calls. We know from just his ex-girlfriends alone that like he recorded many phone calls with many people while they didn't know. That is wiretapping. Like, I know from many of the victims of his that have come to me with evidence that he has tried to threaten, extort, and blackmail people. So I know that's in his phones. So there are a multitude of crimes in his phone. So for him to even just be saying there's nothing in my phone, everybody should be on high alert that means that there is quite a bit in his phone. You know? Oh, yeah. She would have said right away, like, I left him in the house, but she told Jen she left him at the waterfall. She didn't even, quote, remember being at Fairview. She told Jen she left him at the waterfall until Jen was like, I saw you outside. Then magically she remembered. So, you know? Yeah, the motion to dismiss. I'm talking about the federal appeals court. She has a motion there to stay the trial. And then another one for double jeopardy, and it's neither one's going to happen, but that's the one I'm talking about. The motion to dismiss was going to be denied no matter what, which I knew from the get-go, which I told you guys a while ago. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, oh, hello. Ashley wants to say hello to everybody. Should the judge let the lady lawyer stay on the case for no appeal, no delay? Okay. Let me correct this, okay? There's not going to be appeals and delays because this lady's, there's not going to be any delays. The trial isn't going to magically halt and have 17 appeals. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. That's not a thing. It's the judge's job to make sure that the trial stays on track. So it isn't just magically going to stop. It isn't going to be a bunch of appeals. The judge is either going to allow or not allow her to be on there for ethical reasons or not for ethical reasons, and we're going to move on. They can appeal all they want, but the trial has the right to continue on. She has numerous attorneys already. This attorney isn't even a criminal attorney. So I don't know what they would really, I mean, they can appeal all they want, but the trial can still go forth while they do so. Like, so it doesn't really help them any. you know? Yeah, he is full of shit. Absolutely full of shit. Yannetti, I heard, was a good attorney before this, so I don't know why he would throw his reputation out the window for some press, for some documentaries, for a book deal. I don't know. It just seems really stupid as a lifetime attorney. They should have had enough if they knew what they were arguing. If I was the defense, right, and I did this case, I promise you I would not be arguing some grand conspiracy, okay? If I was on Karen's defense team, I would be arguing that there was reasonable doubt because the police investigation had mistakes. That's it. That's simple. Stick to the main goal. That's it. That it could have been anyone. That he could have gotten a fight with a neighbor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have been arguing anything but this grand conspiracy that they're arguing. So I don't, but now they're stuck with it because this is what they've been arguing to their cult for 2 years. So they're stuck with it now, you know? It's very desperate. And at this point, they are just throwing shit at the wall to see what will stick because it's so desperate. That's the problem. Like, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a huge fan of law enforcement myself, but I will tell you this. When I'm at the store getting coffee at Mary Lou's and I see a first responder or a police officer walk in, I always pay for their coffee. Always. And I've had really shitty experiences with actual corrupt cops and actual corruption. And I still, because not all of them are bad, right? You can't just assume that like every lawyer is bad because Jackson and Yannetti are lying to the face of the court. Like Hank Brennan is brilliant. Like, so you can't hold accountable every single person for what some people did. Even if you were to tell me the majority of cops are bad, I might agree with you that it used to be a few bad eggs and now it's a little more than few. But still doesn't mean that all cops are corrupt and all of them are bad. It just doesn't. And that's a dangerous job that they chose to do. When I worked in the prison, the reason that, we get paid a little more is because of the hazard pay, because it's a dangerous job, right? Like, and so I recognize that they put themselves in danger to try to help others, right? And so doesn't matter if it's a first responder, a firefighter, a cop, I always just pay for the coffee. That way they know that someone gives a fuck, right? Somebody appreciates what they do. I just pay for it and I scurry away. If they're in front of me, I've had it happen twice where they've been in front of me, but the girls at that Mary Lou's know me by now. So I'll just put my card up like this. They'll put it on the screen, let me tap to pay. And then he'll be told or she'll be told it's all taken care of and they won't even have a clue who it was. Oh yeah, she was more than a drunken psychopath that night. She was insane. I know, right? Just everybody in Canton all the time. Actually, did you guys know that there was a bomb threat called into the Canton Shaws, along with 2 Shawses in New Hampshire the other day? I put it on my Twitter, but I found that to be really weird. I would not put it past the pink cult to be one of those people that doing that. Because why Canton? 2 places in New Hampshire, 2 Shaws in New Hampshire and Canton. One of which was like on the border of Mass. So like, just it's suspicious, Oh my God, imagine. Yeah, from her jail cell, maybe. Oh, they're lovers now. That's a thing. Amazing. I'll get right on telling Brian Albert that while he's with his wife still, they keep claiming that's not, that he's not with his wife. He is. You guys are idiots. Like, I don't know how she can. I think the problem is that this hasn't been tried before. And so she's going to be looking for a legal way to not allow it. And since that doesn't exist, I don't really know what she's going to do. I don't know how you can. It's a serious ethical issue, but I guess we'll see tomorrow at 10 a.m., Like, oh, Yannetti's definitely letting Jackson run the case straight into the ground, but he's letting him do it nonetheless, Like, it's sad. We can all pray because it just doesn't make sense anyway. I mean, not that her being added is really going to help them much. It's not. I don't know what they think it's going to do or how they think it's going to help Karen. It's not going to. Ridiculous. Confidential informants. Yeah, he's not a cop. What an idiot. They're confidential. I'm going to read the motion. You guys are going to get a kick out of this, all right? Let's read the motion that he sent into the court. I think you guys will really love this. Oh, man. Let's see. Oh, yeah, they are definitely desperate, Alex. Alexa, sorry. I'm trying to see if it's Alex or Alexa. Very desperate, and they know what's in that data. They know that there's a lot in that data. Oh my God, it probably would. Chat GPT. It probably would. It probably would. All right. Yes, exactly, Angela. There can be two things at the same time that are correct. I don't think their brains work that way. They don't seem to realize that. They might be trying to delay, but it's not going to delay anything. I mean, the judge would know that that would be a delay tactic. Like that's just not going to happen. There's nothing's going to be delayed. We're not going to be halting a trial for appeals. Like it's just not happening, right? Like it's not going to happen. All right, let's read this ridiculous motion that he wrote. Yeah, they are fooked and cooked. Hi, Maestro. Welcome. Where's Freak? He's late. He's in trouble. You hear me, Freak? You are late and in trouble. You better be listening from the bushes, sir. All right, let's see. Commonwealth versus Aiden Kearney and Commonwealth versus Karen Reed is what it says at the top, okay? Now comes the defendant, Aiden Kearney, on oath and hereby states the following to the best of his knowledge, information, and belief. Here comes the cuckoo bananas, everyone. Hold on to your seats, okay? Hold on to your seats. Here we go with the ridiculousness. I am the defendant in the above captioned matter. I have a criminal harassment order against Catherine Peter. He makes it about Kate, of course. Recently renewed for 1 year in the Leominster District Court, docket number, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'll point out that the Leominster court clerk is the one who, on camera, that you can go back and watch, literally says that he is very concerned about how the Holden police has been used against Kate. So even Leominster is like, wait a second, something fishy's going on up in this police station to help this motherfucker. That clearly should not have happened. So then it says, she's also been charged with felony witness intimidation against me, also in Leominster Court. Peter's also the subject of a criminal harassment order protecting a good friend of mine. He says good friend. He doesn't say ex-girlfriend, lover. He just says good friend. Good friend of mine, who Peter targeted solely as a result of her being associated with me. Okay. Peter is also accused of violating that order 3 times, and there are criminal cases still pending. What I find funny of him talking about any amount of times that someone's broken an order, sir, you have broken your orders like 1 billion times, so I find it hilarious that you would say anything about anybody breaking orders, all right? Yeah. Everybody put your, shit stirring glasses on here, like, because this is just cuckoo bananas. Yes, that's the Kate he's talking about. Okay, so pending in Stoughton and Dedham district courts against her, as well as a felony witness intimidation charge against her in the Dedham district court. All of these cases have special prosecutors keeping the Norfolk DA's office away from the cases. That's not true at all. Okay, first of all. I am trying to protect my friend's privacy and prevent further harassment of her, but if further information is necessary, I'll provide it through my attorneys. I don't know what he thinks he's protecting. Everybody knows who he's talking about, so it's not like some big, deep-seated secret or something. Like, okay, cool. And he's not protecting anyone. Oh, there you are. Okay, just making sure. It says 3. Peter, according to her Facebook and our X postings, is privy to ongoing information leaks from the Norfolk DA's office in my and Karen Reed's cases. Psst. Psst. There are no information leaks, you absolute fucking genius. You absolute genius. There are no information leaks. You can basically guess things based on this thing called common sense and based on things that other people have given us before your shit was seized. Like victims of yours, you absolute idiot. Also, information that's allowed to be shared with other people then gets shared with us. There are no leaks, sir. You're a moron. But definitely tell the court that there's leaks that you can't prove and that don't exist. Definitely do that. That's fucking bright idea. Yep. Tell the court it's all a conspiracy against you and Karen Reed. They'll love that. Let me just tell you. Going on, it says, I literally can't. For example, Peter has on several occasions published law enforcement information that has not yet been made public. I'm sorry. Did you not make things public that weren't public yet in Karen's case? Or was that? Yeah, that was you, sir. That was you. What? Even though it wasn't public to the public, other people are allowed to know about it. And if they choose to share that information, they can. I don't know what he thinks. Like, he's not helping himself here. Like, he's just not. Like, he's just not. This man is an absolute freaking genius, let me tell you. Okay. On October 11th, 2024, the day after I was arrested, oh God, Peter on her Masshole Mafia Facebook page wrote to Reed attorney David Yannetti, we know you've been involved in Aiden Kearney's little witness and harassment game, and your texts with him from phone seized the day before by state police have already been making the rounds. Screenshot attached as Exhibit A. You guys want to know how those got leaked? From his own people. That's how funny I find that. They got leaked because he leaked them. He showed them to people in discovery. These aren't the day after his phones were seized. This was stuff that the phones had already gone through, and stuff that people who sent it back and forth knew was on it before it was seized. So if I write him text messages back and forth, right, and then his phone gets seized, I still have copies. His phone might be seized, but I still have copies, and I'm allowed to share any goddamn copies I want. It's not a vast conspiracy, sir. You're just an idiot. No, it will not delay the trial, Kathy. You're just an absolute idiot. Okay, let's see. She also knew, as shown by her post on September 29, 2024, that I would be arrested on October 10th, 2024, saying October 10th, he knows the deal. I was, in fact, arrested by the state police, assigned to Norfolk DA's office just one day after that assertion on October 11th. See Exhibit B. Once again, when you commit crime, sir, you can be arrested. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that you're going to be arrested. Also, if the information is shared with people it's supposed to be shared with and they choose to share it, they can do that. That's not a leak, dum-dum. I can't. This is so funny. Like, because every time he argues something, he argues against himself. So it's like, I would love to know how he thinks arguing all of this against himself is going to work in his cases, because then the Commonwealth can say, well, Your Honor, his argument on this very same issue when it came to someone else was the opposite of what he's telling Your Honor right now. I don't know how he thinks this is going to help him any. Like, oh, his comeuppance is coming. It is coming. Might not be this month, but it's coming. Like, so then he says, oh, I can't. I was in fact arrested by state police, blah, blah, blah. She also knew the identities of Janelle Webb and Michelle Littlefield, the police dispatcher and Stoughton court employee charged and fired respectively in connection with allegations against me before their identities were made public. I'm pretty sure her identity, especially Janelle's, because I talked to Janelle all the time, like, it was made public basically immediately. People knew who she was. So I don't know what he means by wasn't made public. Everybody knew immediately. That is ridiculous. And the other one I knew about because it happens to be my friend's grandmother's daughter, and the grandmother called me to ask me to find out what was going on with Michelle and being walked out of Stoughton courthouse. So I knew about that one right away before it was public. So just saying, there are other ways for people to know about something except the Commonwealth leaking it, you absolute fucking genius. I literally can't. Anyway, he says, a police dispatcher and Stoughton Court employee charged and fired respectively in connection with allegations against me before their identities were made public. Yeah, you're an idiot. We found out different ways. Stupid. She could only have acquired this information from the state police or DA's office. False. Can also acquire the information from people who are close to them. You moron. As I did. You dummy. You are such an idiot, bro. I literally can't. Here we go. Ready? Here we go, guys. There are other bloggers receiving confidential law enforcement information against me as well. He's paranoid, you guys. One, Kevin Linehan, posts as Yellow Cottage Tales and reports over and over that his information comes from multiple sources connected to MSP, the DA, and witnesses. He has never said that. He's never said that. So I don't know, like where he like Kevin has never said that his information comes from inside the MSP or the DA. Never has said that. Like that he gets information from multiple close sources. Okay, I get my information from multiple close sources. What's your point? What's your point, sir? Would you like, should I say it louder? I get my information from all sorts of sources, multiple close sources, multiple sources. Sources. Are you going to argue against having sources now? Is that like a thing? Are we doing that? Yeah? Cool. Let's do that. Also, guess what? I haven't had to have anything leaked from the Commonwealth because I have other sources. I haven't heard a fucking peep from the Commonwealth. I wish. I've asked for comment about 1 billion times. Sorry, there are other ways of finding things out, you absolute jackass. But I think you know that already. Well, maybe you don't. That's right. You got all your information from the defendant, right? So you don't really actually know what it's like to source information other than like people handing you false information that they come to you in a DM. You don't actually have like sources. You just have like random free can't read people on Facebook. So I guess you wouldn't actually know what talking to a source or having to source the information from a source and figuring out if it's correct or not from another source. I guess you wouldn't actually know what that's like, would you? You sound like a paranoid, schizophrenic lunatic that has been off his meds for an extremely long period of time that we just took into Bridgewater because they were over at Pembroke State Hospital or Taunton State Hospital and they wouldn't take their meds. And now the judge had to order a court order for us to give them to you. That's what it sounds like, sir. Like, this is some bananas conspiracy type, real paranoid bullshit. Finally, he says, finally. Okay. Oh, he says, finally, one Jennifer Coffindapper has been used as a third-party, quote, mouthpiece, revealing confidential information for the DA's office. That's completely and utterly 1,000% false. No, she has not. It says she was privy to GPS data relating to Miss Reed's vehicle in that case, which she published 2 weeks prior to law enforcement revealing it to the public, and also knew that the DA's office would seek mitochondrial DNA testing in that case 6 days before that was publicly revealed. You want to know how she knew that? Because that's the standard practice of doing it, dumbass. I also said the same thing. I literally can't. This guy's such an, he's for real. He's literally that paranoid, but I already knew that. I already knew he was like that kind of paranoid weirdo. I can't. See Exhibit D, postings and explanations. Based on the above, it is clear that the DA's office and or the state police assigned to that office are leaking confidential data and will continue to do so with my phone data. Why are you so worried about your phone data, bro? And this was signed today. Nope, yesterday. Yesterday, under pains and penalties of perjury. Well, sir, you signed it under pains and penalties of perjury knowing that it's bold-faced crap that you just made up. Yeah, he said that Jen knew about GPS data ahead of time and that they would do mitochondrial testing. Anybody who's worked in that field knows that they're going to do mitochondrial testing. That's the next thing that they would do in that case. So no one needed any inside information to gauge that, you fucking genius. Like, I know. I hope that I gave everybody a good chuckle on this one because it's a fucking knee slapper. It's a goddamn knee slapper. That's for sure. It's a fucking knee slapper. Like what, bro? What in the actual fuckity fuck are you talking about? What? That was the ramblings of a madman. Bro, you need help. Like, somebody get him a straitjacket on aisle 2. Like, I'll take out of meds for 600, Alex. Like, what is happening? Like, tomorrow. Court tomorrow at 10 a.m. I mean, what the fuckity fuck? Like, this, yeah, it is propaganda. Like, absolutely absurd, ridiculous, nonsensical ramblings of a diary of a sewer turtle is what we're going to call it. That's what we're going to call it, because that's what it is. We just read the diary of a sewer turtle, guys. That's what happened. Like, sewer turtle very much off his fucking goddamn rocker. It's all a conspiracy, y'all. Everything. The Commonwealth, the state police, everybody's leaking information. I can't. I know. A lot of us brought up the GPS information a long time ago. Like, again, you can deduce certain things from information, but I guess since he's not smart and he's not educated and he's not intelligent in any way, shape, or form, and I mean that in like emotionally, mentally, or smarts wise, maybe he just doesn't know how to put things together. But any normal human with critical thinking skills and some level of intelligence could have put a lot of this shit together with no help from anybody whatsoever. And they did. Like, oh, man. He has not. A lot of these people have no idea what a trial is like. None of them have sat in on a trial, observed one, done a mock one. Some of the shit people say, I'm like, that would never be allowed into a trial. And the fact that you would even say that out loud without doing any research is fucking hilarious. Like, yes, the diary of a sewer turtle. That's what we just read, guys. Yeah, little arms, dinosaur arms. Maybe he wrote that diary with his dinosaur arms. Dear Your Honor, everybody is conspiring against me and my little arms. Leaking information. Make it stop now. Make it, wait, exclamation point, make it stop now. I'm an angry, lying sewer turtle. Make it stop. Exclamation point. Love diary of a sewer turtle. I mean, under pains and penalties of perjury, Your Honor. This is very serious, Your Honor. I can't. I literally cannot. Like, if I could do little legs right now, I would have you guys rolling, but I can't do a full body shot because my computer's just a laptop. So I am a poor person. I'm not a rich person like him. I don't have all the intelligence of the sewer turtle, so I don't have 17 screens. I also am just this little tiny channel over here with 2,000 subs. I know nothing about anything whatsoever. I have no intelligence and couldn't figure any of this case out at all. Didn't know anything ahead of time. Nothing. And if I did, it was a conspiracy, y'all. A giant conspiracy. Like, right? I bet he has one. But I bet it's a picture of his own face. So he can look at it when he's writing. That's how egotistical he is. I kid you not. I don't know about wit. That comes and goes. Comes and goes when it wants to. Some days I'm real witty and others not so much. Just depends, I guess, on what mood I'm in. I guess I'm a little hangry right now, so maybe that's why I'm a little extra today. I'm a little hangry, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to make anybody spit anything out. I'm sorry. I love you all. I will try to bring myself down a couple levels today. Maestro said, first time his name came up in the Karen Reed pretrial, he was on his stream. He grinned like an idiot and says, does this mean I got to testify? He doesn't have a clue. No, he also thinks that like being a witness is like, you know, just because like, I think one time, what was it that he specifically said that like, oh, well, I'm a witness. Like, You're a witness. Why? Have you been named as a witness? Did the police name you as a witness? And their reports like, you're a witness to what? Oh, that's what it was. He was screaming witness intimidation for something he wasn't even a witness in yet at that point. And saying, well, I could be a witness because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, you could be a witless. You are a witless, but a witness. No, you would not be a witness in that, sir. No. Yep. I mean, it is like Burger King over here. Y'all can have it your way. McDonald's is loving it. That's right. That's exactly right, Angela. Well, he is a witness to his own crimes. You are right about that. And lots of them there are. It's like, bro, are you going to say that like the Commonwealth leaked to me everything that I know that's in your phone? How would I know otherwise, right? Like, how would she know, y'all? If the Commonwealth or the state police didn't leak it to her, how would she know? You're victims, sir. You're victims. That's how. You freaking genius. Like, dude, I mean, we talk about secondhand embarrassment. I'm talking about like fifth-hand embarrassment for anybody in his general vicinity. I don't understand how these people like follow him around like little puppies. Like, oh my God, he's so awesome, y'all. He hasn't told one single lie. Like, as he's lying and following his lies down the street, he's just got a bottle of them that he just sips on a daily basis. Just, sipping the lies, and he spits them out to everybody else and they just believe it. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Literally the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, I can't. They are experts at burying themselves. I just don't understand how they keep digging themselves out and bury themselves over again. It's fucking amazing. It's like falling down. You remember when you're a kid and people were like, you got smacked by the ugly tree, got smacked by the stupid tree, run over by the stupid bus, backed over by the stupid bus, and pushed down the street by the stupid plow. And here we are still. Like, here we are still with the stupidity of a cult-like mob that has been run over, pushed down the street, fallen down a tree, and they're still chugging along with this conspiracy. Like, it's still going. Like, bro, do you guys not realize how ridiculous you sound at this point? There is zero, goose egg, nonce, nada, zero evidence of anybody committing any crime in this case other than Karen Reed herself. Okay. There's this thing called, what's that called again? Evidence, right? Okay. That shows in her data from her car and John's data from his phone. Okay. What happened that night? He never went in the house. So there is no third party culprit. And here's the best part, right? You guys thought that Hank the other day was like, they're not even saying Chloe did it. They're just saying it was a dog. Oh, so now we're like, because we have the bite patterns from before John died and now after of Chloe, and we have the paw prints because Hank was smart enough to do that when he went down there. Now it's not Chloe. Now it's just some animal or dog. It's just some dog or animal now, right? What? How do these cult members not go, wait a second, hold on. You've been telling me that it's Chloe the dog and it's these specific people. You're not even naming Jen. So what are you doing with that Google search that was debunked 72 times that they keep screaming from the rooftops happened because they don't seem to know how a DB wall file works? Like, how's that working out? Like, if Jen's not a third party, then what you doing with that Google search? Colin wasn't even there. He left before Karen and John arrived out front. So it's amazing to me. Like, oh yeah, the light dusting of snow is the best one. Or here's a good one of what they always say. Where's all the blood? On the ground, geniuses. On the ground and on and in his clothing. On the ground. You do know that a ground, it doesn't just sit on top of the ground, right? Like it can seep, like, right? So if he's bleeding out, it's not just going to sit on the top of the ground. Like, they're like, oh, there's only 6 drops. No, there was 6 cups that had blood in them. There was way more than 6 drops. And even Karen just blew up that conspiracy of theirs on her very just smartly run documentary over there because they were too busy being so narcissistic that they didn't realize there'd be a second trial. Karen thought that this documentary wouldn't play until after she was found not guilty or guilty. And obviously in her brain, not guilty. So she had no idea that this documentary would crush her for a second trial when she came clean about certain things, like picking glass out of John's nose. What? I'm sorry, what? Oh, God. Brainless people in aisle 2. Somebody for a cleanup. Like, someone for a cleanup. Oh, yeah, but Hank is very methodical. Like, he does it on purpose. Like, he's going to lay them all out, and then they're going to step on each one of those mouse traps. And then he can say, oh, Your Honor, this is what they said. So are they not saying this now? And that's what's going to happen every single time. Oh, that was the one I wanted to tell you guys. This is what he said. You guys are going to love this, right? He said because the Commonwealth has not prepped him to be a witness, that he's not going to be a witness. Let me try to say this slowly so he understands in sewer turtle speak. The Commonwealth doesn't have to prep you. That's a courtesy. They have no legal obligation to prep you in Massachusetts, especially if you're going to be a hostile witness, which you probably are a hostile witness, but they do not have to prep you. That's not a thing. So if you think to just sit and call you to prep with you, which they're not going to do, you're magically not a witness, well, you're a dumb per usual. Like, I can't. I literally can't. The fact that he said that's like a statement he made is effing amazing to me. Like, no, you guys, I'm not going to be a witness. I'm not going to be a witness because Hank didn't call me and he didn't tell me what he was going to say. It didn't prep me. So I guess I'm just not going to be a witness, right? Have you been paying attention to anything during this entirety of this case at all? Have you learned one other thing other than how to lie with a straight face? Because clearly you have not. That's not the way it works. Dumbass. Like, they have. So here's the thing. They'll double and triple down, Leon, because if they don't, they know they look stupid and they look silly. And to admit that is too much for them. It's too much to just admit that they were duped, that they were lied to. It's too much. They cannot admit that. It has to be that they're right, because that's just how it's going to be. Like, they're just going to keep saying it until the end of time. And when she's found guilty, they're going to keep saying it. And she has appealed. She's going to appeal. Yeah, she can appeal while she's sitting in prison. It's amazing to me. I don't think she's listening to her attorneys either. I think she's doing whatever she wants per usual, because I've never seen a defendant act the way she acts when it comes to like trying to like be her own attorney, like pulling the laptop and finding all the, like, let your attorneys do their job. It's a bad look anyway at what you're doing. Like, then why don't you just go pro se and do it yourself? Like, I've never seen a defendant, but that shows you her control. She has a lack of self-awareness, and she cannot not be in control of everything, every tiny little thing. The fact that she can't control what I say or what other people say to put the truth out there probably drives her absolutely insane, just as much as it drives the sewer turtle insane, as clearly referenced by the Diary of a Wimpy Sewer Turtle, okay, that we just read. That 2-page whining and crying to the judge about people knowing things before him. That's essentially what that was. Your Honor, people know things before me and I don't like it. Make them stop. That's what he just did. That's, I mean, utterly ridiculous. I think she'll be found guilty, at least on one of the charges. At least on one. Yeah, it was bad. It was very, very bad. Like, to the point where people who had never seen this trial before got on social media and were like, that bitch is guilty. Like, that bitch is guilty. Like, that's how bad it got. It was bad. It was very, 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 very bad. Like, oh yeah, definitely told her. But all defendants attend the sidebars if they want. Most of them don't bother. They just let the attorneys do it, and the attorney tells you what happens. But now they want to let her have headphones, y'all. They want Karen to be so special that she gets to listen in on sidebars with headphones. Realistically, I think that's ridiculous, but let her do it. She looks like an idiot. They're going to be like, does she need translation? Does she not speak English? Like, she can't get up and walk over like she did the entire first trial? That, like, it's just ridiculous. That's another thing. I noticed that too. A lot of the attorneys look like they aged exponentially, along with a lot of the sewer turtle writers that look like they've aged exponentially in the last 2 years. Yes, he can't be in the trial if he's on the witness list, and he's going to be a witness. He will not be allowed in the trial. So he won't be in there. He can go to closings after he has been a witness. That's it. So, but he cannot, he can't be in the trial if he's on the witness list and he's going to be a witness. Fucking dumbass. Like, yeah, they can appeal until, you know, tell them to appeal to fucking Captain Crunch and see how that works out for them. Exactly. She can walk. She can walk, dude. You know, dig their own hole. They dug a hole, like tunnel, cave, and locked themselves inside is what they did. Like, I mean, yeah, you can walk up to say you're like that you're the defendant. If you want to hear what's happening at sidebar, get your ass up or wait for your attorney to tell you when they come back. Hi, Patty. You know, I have hope, and I'll tell you why. I would have none if we didn't have Hank. Okay, I would have none if we didn't have Hank. But I believe because Hank knows what he's doing, he knows what happened last trial. He knows what to try to avoid. I do believe that Hank will get the job done. I do. I really do believe that Hank will get the job done. I think there is hope with him. Like I said, don't count it out yet. You know, we know that those people are going to try to get on this jury, but that's why there are extra things that they're doing to make sure that that doesn't happen. You know, like, oh yeah. I mean, all the judges are going to be super sympathetic since he calls them all names almost every single time he's in front of one and doesn't get his way. They totally love that about him. Just like every one of the inmates in Denham, they just love him over there. You guys remember him telling everyone that like everybody liked him over there and how they would be like, oh, hey, you're a turtle. But that didn't happen. I can tell you that didn't happen because not only do I know people who work at that prison, but I know people who are inmates in that prison. And I will tell you that he was kept where he was kept because people don't like him. They do not like him. He is not liked at all. There's a reason why he was all by his lonesome in that cell and why, again, that's exactly where he'll be. I mean, listen, I don't want anything more than for him to go to general population. Please, he told everybody he wanted to go to general population. Cool, do it. Tell them you want to go. Tell them you're not afraid. You want to go to Gen Pop, dude. Like, I'm sure there'll be plenty of best buds waiting to just hang out with you. Just hang out. You know? Just tell them you want to be in general population. Do it. Plenty of people. But they won't be people like this. I'm sorry to inform you that it won't be people like this.
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
It will not be people like that. Sorry. Sorry. They won't be as enthusiastic. But you will have some people that just want to play basketball with you and have some fun while you're in jail. So make friends, dude, you know? Make some friends. They want to be your bestie. Your bestie. No, they don't allow you to stay in PC for your entire stay unless you whine like a baby back bitch like he did and cry that you're going to get killed until they move you to a different prison. Cool. I mean, he's got fans everywhere, guys. He's so important that there are guys in Concord and Shirley that know him. And they all want to be friends. They all want to be friends. You didn't know? He's got besties everywhere just waiting for his arrival. They made him a friendship bracelet that he's gonna have to wear. But if he puts on the friendship bracelet, he's got to put his hand in their pocket. It's just, those are the rules, okay? Just saying that those are the rules. Like, bye, Dewdrops. You can always catch us later. Do the replay. See where you're at right now, and then go from that point forward when you get out of work. Yeah, he definitely is screwed either way. 100%. 100%. If I had to guess, I would guess that there will be quite a few charges that he still hasn't been charged with yet. Imagine they just use him as like a mule. Like, you're our new mule. You're gonna get your attorneys to bring us drugs, and you're gonna be our new mule. Like, imagine. Oh, jail. Doesn't it sound lovely, y'all? Like, I'll tell you, I worked in one for the criminally insane, and I saw many people like him in there. Many inflated egos and important sense of self. And it's amazing, it's amazing to see some of these people in there. But like, I'm told he's got lots of besties just waiting on him. Just waiting and waiting. So we'll see, The prison pocket will be fully inflated. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so the buffer zone. Talk about that for a second. So they moved it a little this time from last time. So I'm going to hold on. Let me pull up real quick the docket. Okay, well, I'll be here in the morning. We'll do a little bit before 10, obviously. I'm going to pull up the docket right now. But we're going to do a little bit before 10 tomorrow for the hearing. And I guess we'll see what goes down, right? We'll see. While I'm pulling up the docket, if y'all can do me a favor and hit the like button, the subscribe button, share this video with a friend, I would appreciate it. If you can, please make a donation to the channel. We only survive from donations from you guys. That's how we get through over here. We are not Sewer Turtle Wimpy Diaries. We don't get thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars per stream. So every little bit counts. If you're on my replay crew, though, and you make one, I'll read it on the next live stream we have. But these are the 3 ways you can do it, because, of course, as we know, the cult attacked my channel and I had to reapply for monetization. So I can't get back my memberships and my super stickers and the super chats until they approve it. And that can take up to 30 or 60 days, whatever it said. So I'm still waiting on that. But in the meantime, I have Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo with this information here. And I would appreciate it. All right, I'm pulling up the docket. I want to see, because that's how I did it this morning, was I checked the docket. Let's see. To see if they had scheduled or decided on anything. If the judge had decided on anything, like early morning. And that is where I saw that that they had the hearing that they scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I was like, oh, damn, here we go. But she's got it. The judge has to get out of the way all the important stuff before the trial. So every outstanding motion she's going to have to deal with before trial. So, I mean, hopefully we'll hear quite a bit tomorrow. I think there's a good chance that she gives a lot of answers on a lot of these things that are outstanding. Short video on docuseries. Busted taillight. Oh yeah, the busted taillight was always clearly seen since like 5 a.m. And we know that she was telling people when she was calling them. So like, it's but they just ignore it. That's what gets me. It's like the cult completely ignores that they're seeing it. They go, oh, we don't see anything. It's literally right on the screen in front of them. And they're like, there's nothing there. Like, what? Like, it's like you live on a different planet, like literally on a different planet. Like, I kid you not, on a different planet. It's insane to me. Absolutely insane. All right, let's see. All righty. Yeah, it is Doolin, Judge Doolin. At least that's what it says. I'm going to check again and see if it got changed, but that's what it says on this, on the docket. So let's see. It says, let me scroll all the way down to that. Okay, so it tells me every court like thing, 2024, 2022. Okay, so here it is, 2025, 328, 2025, criminal 1, second floor, hearing, rediscovery motions, Honorable Michael Doolin. Yeah. Yep. That's the judge. That's the judge we're going to be seeing. So that's just for this, but I'm saying, like, in general, Judge Canoni is going to have to like deal with any outstanding like motions that she has like on the docket. So I don't know if she's going to just put them on the docket or if she's going to come in after Doolin and try to read through them since they're already in court. She might say to both sides, like, hey, can you meet in my courtroom after you see Judge Doolin so we can go over whatever issues they have? Because I'm looking at the docket and the next date after that would be the 1st, which is jury. And that's the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th on the 2nd floor for a jury trial. So, and that's, so yeah, so there's nothing scheduled right now, as of right now, after tomorrow. And she's still got quite a few little things she's got to go over. So, let's see, what else does it say? We have, let's see. There's so many things on this docket. Like, you could literally scroll until the end of time. These are 2023, 2024, 2025. Let's see. Let me see. Jesus, there's so many in 2024. It's ridiculous. Oh, there's 2 pages. That's how many there are. Holy shibboleth. Okay, here we go. What's this? Okay, so this one's from today. Sorry, I got an itch on my back and I can't reach it. I don't know. I can't remember. Might be Freak. I can't remember, though. We'll find out. We'll find out. I mean, here's the thing. The judge already ordered that it be turned over. It was already turned over, so that's not even up for debate. So today, it says, others motion, I'm guessing this is him, for a protective order regarding the sharing of cell phone data between Kearney prosecutor and Reed prosecutor. And then it says, memorandum in order on defendant's motion to exclude certain testimony of Commonwealth witness Robert Gilman, and in the alternative, request for Daubert Lanigan hearing. In the alternative, request for Daubert Lanigan hearing dated 3/27/25. Okay, but it's not exactly, I mean, I guess it's, I'm not understanding here. It's just saying on. And then there's on a defendant's motion to exclude the purported expert testimony of the Commonwealth's proffered witness, Dr. Wolf, and request for Daubert Lanigan hearing. That was denied. I think that was yesterday. As far as I know, that was denied. But why is it not saying denied on it? I'm totally confused. Interesting. And then we have on the 26th, which was yesterday, others ex parte status report of Rule 17. Yeah, this was the one that we found yesterday for this. And forwarded to Judge Sisitsky. Receipt acknowledged and status report to be shared with parties only, otherwise impounded provisionally until a hearing before the court. Thumb drive accompanying this report shall be impounded until further action by the court. Parties to appear soon as practicable. that was it. Attorney Cosgrove. 32625, and then defendant's motion requesting audio access to sidebar conferences during voir dire and certificate of service filed 326. Commonwealth's notice of discovery 62 filed 324, and then the attorney appearance for the juror / attorney. And then the Commonwealth's motion for the buffer zone and order prohibiting signs or clothing in favor of either party or law enforcement. Of course, it has to say either party. What's either party exactly? Does she mean Aiden and Karen, or does she mean John? Because he's the victim and he's no longer with us. I don't know how you restrict the victim who isn't even alive, like signs for the victim. That doesn't really make any sense, but cool. I don't have a problem with either one. It is what it is. There's a buffer zone for that. No, the buffer zone got moved. Although I do think it's a mistake to only make it 200 feet, but I think they only made it 200 feet because they backed it up past like businesses that like the cult was sitting in front of last year and doing things like this. Because this was a circus, right? Like this was the absolute circus. Here it is, y'all.
I think we got a super chat. I think we got a super chat.
This was what they thought was appropriate at a murder trial that they turned into an absolute circus. And there were businesses, churches, and things there that were like, yeah, hey, we're not dealing with that again. And it ran away business, and we needed to not run away business. So we're going to ask the court to please make it past our businesses. So it's 200 feet, and they redid it. But I still think it should have been much further away, in my opinion. 2 miles would have been great, but I do think it should have been at least 500, if not 700 feet. But you're running out of Dinas. Yeah, that's very true, Barb. That's very true. It's just such a fucking circus to me. I don't understand why they allow some of the shit that they allow. It just, the judge really needs to like get on her game and stop allowing the nonsense in her courtroom, right? Like there's no reason that the lying, as they've been doing right after she said she wasn't going to deal with it, should be tolerated anymore. It was a mistake not to throw them off and revoke the Pro Hoc BJ. It just was. So I'm looking on X real quick for something. Some of the things that I see these people saying, it's just absolutely effing amazing to me. How insane it sounds when they say it. And then I'm like, is this real life? Like the fact that I even have to, someone earlier was trying to say like, who videoed the alternate juror, the lawyer, who videoed them? And I go, if they were in public, it doesn't matter. They have no presumption of privacy in public. Well, bathrooms and locker rooms, that's common sense, and been through the Supreme Court a billion times that no, you can't put cameras in locker rooms or bathrooms because you're getting undressed. That's common sense. So it would be a private area. But a bar or a pub, if you walk into a bar or a pub, anybody in that bar or that pub could video you. It's not wiretapping. It is not illegal. It is a public place. You have no privacy there. You can choose to walk away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. Like, that it's just utterly ridiculous, some of the things. Like, I guess we're just going to have to wait for the order from the judge about, I would assume, because what I'm seeing on the docket, obviously, is, Karen's attempt to not let a witness testify about certain things for the Commonwealth. But I assume that it will be denied, although the order is not on the docket yet. So I guess I have to wait until the order is on the docket to be able to find out what her order was. But I would assume that it would ultimately be denied. If it's parody, at this point, it's like it has to be parody. Otherwise, it's just insane. Like the third trial, right? Imagine if we had a third trial. It is all PR, Penny. All PR. Like, oh yeah, she's gonna have her full walk from the car all the way to the courthouse because she can't help herself. She's got to feel good about people yelling and throwing flowers. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen a day in my life, literally. Okay, it's absolutely freaking bananas. And when you think about that, that's another thing, kid. That's a valid point. They could hear the protesters outside. So there's another reason why it should be at least 500 feet. Like, you don't want the jury being able to hear protesters screaming outside. You want them to be able to deliberate without the noise. Okay. And so it should have been made far enough away where screaming idiots can't be heard while the jury is trying to deliberate. Like, I just don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I get it. She's trying to, keep everybody's First Amendment right, and that's fine. But the court has a right to restrict that First Amendment right when it has to do with a fair trial. There's plenty of legal precedent for it. There's no reason why it shouldn't have been done. It's been done way further in plenty of other cases. Like, they don't have to file a motion, but they did file a motion for her to appear. So I believe we will hear something about it, whether it comes from Hank or we're going to hear something about it. That's for sure. Like, she was already a lawyer before she was a juror, but still, like, why you would want to be on the defense team of somebody it's just unethical. There are ethical issues with it. Like, and it's very clear ethical issues. Like, and yeah, I mean, you're wearing pink the day after you were told, like, you're not like one of the main jurors because you're upset about it. Like, I've never seen a juror cry or get upset because they're not a main juror because you're an alternate. Who gives a shit? Half the time an alternate ends up, taking the place of that person anyway, It's a good question, Penny. He can file something. I don't really know what he would file or what he can file because most attorneys are not this stupid to have been a juror and try to then be on the defense counsel of somebody's trial that they were a juror of. So, because they know that it's ethically, it's not ethical. So, I don't know. I don't know what he can file, but I make no mistake that he will have something to say about it. I know, right? They have no idea what ethics is. It's exactly what it sounds like, right? To the layperson, it sounds like you're crying about it and showing up in pink. Sounds like you had a job to do and you failed at it, and so now you're upset. Like, I've never seen anything like it in my life. Like, it's bananas. Like, yeah, she said she was the foreperson on one jury. It's like she expected to be the foreperson again. Like, no, sorry, that's not how it works. Like, yeah, they did get kicked off. We don't know who replaced them, but we know that they had multiple alternates, and we almost ran out of alternates at one point because so many jurors, both alternates and regular, were dismissed. So we don't even know. Like, it's insane to me. Like, this is why I think they need more jurors this time than what they had last time, because there's a very big possibility that there are some free Karen Reed people that get on here, get caught, and get booted. Like, Well, that's the other weird thing is, the judge being like, it's the reason they're dismissed is a personal issue. That's not a personal issue. And I would argue that the public should know the reason why they're dismissed if it was something like the reasons that they were dismissed in this case. Once again, I think the judge not trying to not make some big deal out of it, but I mean, honestly, it's something that we should know. Something we should know. Definitely something we should know. It could have been, I do think it was a failure of the court and the judge. Like, it just was. Like, it's insane to me the things that this judge hasn't done that I would expect to see out of most judges. I've seen judges scream, yell, curse. I've seen them do some pretty shocking things. But the one thing that I usually consistently see when it comes to a judge is I consistently usually see them not taking bullshit when it's in their courtroom, because then they're opening it up for everyone and anyone else to do it in their courtroom, and basically telling them like, hey, I'm not going to do a goddamn thing about it. I'm not going to do anything about it. Too bad, so sad. Like, it's just insane. Absolutely insane. I just feel like if this judge doesn't, I mean, she's already made the mistake of not getting a hold of our courtroom thus far. And I feel like she thought she was doing something by giving that big statement about how she wasn't going to deal with the lying anymore. But like, if she had any clue whatsoever, then she would have known that they're not just going to stop lying. They're not just going to magically stop lying. It's just not going to happen. So I really wish that she would have like done something, removed one of them. I don't know, something, because it just doesn't make sense to me how you allow these lawyers who you just said knowingly lied to the court to keep going. How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you allow it to keep happening? How? You know? Murder by Maestro said, I was thinking that idiot juror who did interviews with Aiden was the one who got booted. Then I realized those in the room saw the juror, so would know. Yeah. So that's the thing. There were a multitude of jurors that got dismissed. So them keeping her out of the room made a big difference. Well, that was, they wanted to do that too the entire time. They know what they're doing ahead of time by trying to like keep people out and stuff, like their house of cards is slowly but surely being knocked down. Could she be coming in to tank the case? What do you mean? Like, I mean, you wouldn't want to lose a murder trial. So, I mean, why? There would have to be a reason that you would purposely tank a case. What would be the reason that you would purposely tank a case? You know what I mean? Like in this case, in this specific case, I don't see a specific like reason you would want to tank this case. Like, you've already tanked your careers. You might as well take a full run at it at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't think we were ever going to get decent press in the room. That's for sure. Unless one of us got a press pass, unfortunately, it's just the reality of the situation. I think it would have been nice to be able to see the jurors' faces and the way that they were reacting to certain things, because we weren't going to get any real information from any of them. That's for sure. We just weren't. We were not going to get any real information from the people that were in that room for press. And all the information you were getting was, fluff, essentially. Anything that they thought would go their way for free hear and read. Like, it just is, unfortunately. Do you guys have questions about other stuff? Like, is there other stuff you guys want to go over? Is there other stuff you guys want to talk about? Because I think I made my list. Let me check. But I went down my list here. Buffer zone. Motions. I wrote Sewer Turtle's crazy motion. It literally wrote that in here. Diary of a Wimpy Sewer Turtle. We read that. It was hilarious and unhinged. Oh, it's always about PR and money. And I find it funny, once again, that the same people that do this for PR and money. So, for instance, I've been on, an hour, 55 minutes, and 54 seconds. And for something sort of impromptu like I did today, there's 144 people watching, which is low, but it's the middle of the day. So I don't expect that there's going to be 400 or so like there usually is. Like, it's, the middle of the day on a Thursday. But I've been on an hour and 56 minutes, and I have not made a single cent or dollar on my show yet today. Now, these people will have them rolling in every 5 minutes, right? Every 5 minutes, they got a new one, 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 50, 100, 150, 75, like, over and over and over. So what incentive do they have to tell the truth? Clearly their own integrity isn't working. I don't know how, because when I made the choice to tell the truth and correct anything that I might have said that might have been wrong, when evidence came to me and I realized that she wasn't innocent, I knew what I was giving up, right? Like I knew it, but I have to look myself in the mirror. I have to sleep at night. And if I now know that she's guilty and I sit there and I say she's not, then who am I? Like, what kind of person am I? It seems to me, though, that none of these people have a problem saying things they know aren't true, all for the dollar sign. And it blows my ever-loving mind, because some of these people aren't the working poor, like my family. Some of them are get by just fine. Like others, like, would be the working poor. But like, even the ones that don't need the extra oomph, right? I just don't understand, like, how you can look yourself in a mirror, lie to your audience, continuously lie to your audience, say things you know are untrue, ignore key pieces of evidence and say, nothing to see here, don't look at that. Well, or say something like, we can't look at any of the evidence because we don't like Michael Proctor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just gets me. It just does. Like, and I like to think that maybe it's because I've been a volunteer advocate, for as long as I have, and because I've been helping people as long as I have, that maybe that's why. But like, I also don't want to believe that like humanity is that shitty. Like, I just don't, I just don't want to believe that humanity is that shitty. Like, well, that's right. Yeah. So if you want to sort of use that as a thing, like, yeah, everybody knows he did it, right? Like, but some people choose to say, hey, someone's got to stop these crooks from killing people, and these CEOs from killing people. And if it's not going to be the government, then they were saying like, well, he's going to be the martyr. But they know nobody's arguing he's not guilty, like, yeah, exactly. We all po folk over here. We po folk. And he shouldn't be. No matter how many times they try to take a pot shot at people for not being like rich and eating caviar, like that makes you who you are or something. Like, it doesn't. I tell you, eating caviar doesn't make you suddenly intelligent. $50 steak dinners don't make you suddenly intelligent. $50 for one person. It doesn't. Like, and I actually argue that with all the things these people do and all the money they claim to have, makes them less emotionally intelligent. That's for damn sure. And if you want to talk about intelligence also requires that you don't just lie when you know something to be true, because it's the loud or popular or the thing that's going to give you the most dollar signs in your pocket. I guess after a certain amount of time, you don't have to worry about that when you have tens of thousands of viewers or followers. I guess, you have a steady stream of income at that point. But why? And a lot of the people who jumped into this had like 15 or 20,000, and then they boosted 30, 40, 50, 60,000, right? And that makes a difference in their pocket, which I get. But why lie to get it? Why not tell the truth? You can still get there. It might not be instant like you want it to be, but you'll have integrity. You'll have the truth behind you. You won't just be saying it just to say it. Like, I mean, are they practicing in the mirror? Are you just saying it? And then like, when you log off, because we know some of these people privately, when they log off, have sent other people messages like, yeah, I know it's horseshit, but it pays my bills. Like that. I'm sorry, but like, I can't get behind that. I can't get behind a person that does that. Like, you know what? Sign all the book deals and doc deals you want for Karen Reed. It doesn't change the fact that Karen hit John. Doesn't change any of the evidence, as much as you scream from the rooftops. Oh, I get that. I understand that. I've lived it since 2023. Every single day of my life. I've lived it. I have lived it. But so you just lie? So you continue to lie though? I'm not saying that the attacks don't suck. They're not, they suck. Nobody's going to say that they don't, but like, what? Like, so you just lie instead? I can't get behind that either. Like, believe me, I understand the attacks, dude. I live them every single day of my life from these people. But the alternative is saying nothing and going away, which I could understand, or correcting the record and saying the truth. Which one? I mean, lying doesn't seem to be an option. Like, I guess it's an option for them, but it was never an option for me. It's not the right thing to do. And it hurts people. And if you're about hurting people, then you're not my type of people to begin with. I'm about helping people, not hurting people. I get it. It's definitely the crappy choice they make. I guess for me, it's like that little bit of sacrifice, like you're by still saying it, knowing it's untrue, you're hurting a lot of people, not just one or two, but a lot of people. And I would never be able to live with myself if I had done that. Motion to be determined. So it's usually like still and up in the air. Judge denies evidentiary hearing. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe she's still looking into a portion of it or something. It's usually to be determined. Unfortunate for Karen, she has sold her own soul. She could stop this anytime. Yeah, you're never going to hear her say, I don't agree with the harassment, or please don't harass people. You'll never hear her or her team say that. You'll never hear the sewer turtle say that, because it's not in their best interest to do that. It's in their best interest to allow it to keep happening, unfortunately. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Meredith doing that, wishing the worst upon the woman whose actions led to the death of her uncle, and the same time championing Karen Reed. It's amazing, isn't it? The lack of self-awareness. And I mean, the family of that woman is now being harassed into oblivion. They haven't done anything wrong, but, because she's got to put their name out there and have people do streams on it. And it's just a cluster. It's a freaking cluster. Like, Meister said, the only people who make good money on content are very smart business minds. From sourcing merch to investing, Aiden is not one. I mean, I know he does make good money. There's no doubt that he does, but it's from like memberships, Turtle Club chats, and all that shit. But realistically, it's not sustainable for him, because he's not a true crime channel. Like, this isn't what he does, right? And he's going to fade back into obscurity, especially when you're in prison. Because, sorry to tell you, but you can't YouTube from prison. You can't do YouTube channel lives from prison. So he will not have that option sooner than later. So I honestly just think he's trying to stack as much as he possibly can before that happens, It's not your fault, Angela. It just, that's how it's been since 2023. It is what it is. These people don't give up, and neither do I. So I guess they're going to find out who can outlast who. Because I won't be bullied into silence. I will not be bullied into going away. Like, never going to happen. Never going to happen. As long as this channel exists, and as long as I have my amazing viewers here, I'm not going anywhere. As long as there's one person that logs on to watch my show, I'm not going anywhere. So they can try all they want. I'm not going anywhere. They've been trying since 2023. And I will tell you, they don't just stop at mean texts, unfortunately. They go a step further, and then further, and then further, and then further, because they're insane and not normal. Like, well, you got to remember the merch, then the memberships, then the chats. So there's, Yeah, see, there was no pajama party. So that was another thing. Like, if the man can't tell the difference between leggings and pajama pants, then I guess he's got a problem, huh? Like when you can't tell the difference between one or the other, which he clearly cannot. No, it definitely will not last from prison. That's for sure. Like, yeah, it does. I don't think, you know what? Mainstream media just doesn't cover stuff though anymore. And that's part of the problem is they cover what they're told to cover, right? They don't cover things that they don't think are sensational or that are going to bring attention. So, for instance, there wasn't a ton of news coverage when my friend Mickey went missing. There just wasn't. And especially because he was Hispanic, they didn't want to do it. Like his mother had to like beg and plead with stations once a year to air that he had still been missing. That was after years of fighting and fighting and fighting. Like it's just insane. Like, oh, you don't know why, Penny? Nobody ever told you why he was booted from teaching? Who wants to tell that story? Well, that would be because he was accused of going to a game, and then this poor underage girl, did like a interview where he was making lewd sexual gestures at her at a game, at a football game, which he went there to do. He went there to rile people up and hopefully get a story. And what he got out of that was, that and being basically forced to leave as a teacher in shame because he's shameful. And then, follow up with that with being outside school, screaming he's a sex goblin and doing all sorts of very inappropriate, disgusting things. Yeah, she was 15. The girl was 15, like 15 years old. 15. Can you imagine? Like, well, that's it right there, Barb, is eventually what all that money is going to go to is civil suits until the end of time. Make no mistake when I tell you that as soon as Karen's trial is done, he is going to be buried. I mean, buried in civil suits. Absolutely buried. Yeah, he left before he was fired, but he ultimately would have been fired anyway, Yeah, that gets me. It's not surprising, but there's a lot that people don't know, and a lot of these people started following him just for this case, so that they assume that when he says it's a conspiracy, and he does his, his little diary of a wimpy sewer turtle, that like he's actually telling the truth. Poor sewer turtle, everything's a conspiracy. What they don't realize is that he has been yelling conspiracy every time he's been caught doing something awful for years, long before this case ever existed. And every time, come to find out, there was no conspiracy. He actually did it. So I don't know why they think it's magically going to be different now. I'm here to tell you that there's no conspiracy and that he absolutely 100% did the things he's accused of. Every single one of them. Oh yeah, the ridiculous. I can't imagine hosting a website that had that many ads on it. I literally could not. That's just, it's cuckoo. Like, yeah, I mean, even like when I set up merch at one point, it was only like a couple bucks. It's not like a lot per item, that's for sure. And I'm gonna try to set up my own website, I think Shopify, and get some merch going for the channel anyway. I honestly do think, I hope that they get some of these other people that have sat here and lied boldly as well, and bury them in civil suits as well, No, you can't. You cannot. There's a reason why you can't go into a cinema, a movie theater, and scream fire. Like, the First Amendment is not absolute, I know, right? An Amazon wish list. I would love an Amazon wish list. That'd be amazing. Jackass juror. Oh my God, that would be amazing, Penny. That'd be so funny. But remember, if you change your name, I think you have to wait like, isn't it like 2 weeks or something until you can change it again. Yeah, liabilities is for sure with Melanie Little. She's got lots of liabilities over there. They just follow the lies everywhere. How likely will it be that Judge Cannoni gives the earpiece for Karen? I'd say 50-50 because I don't think logistically it would make sense. I think she would accommodate it if it was logistically possible. I'm not sure it's logistically possible for them to do it this quick, right before trial. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, remember, Penny, if you do change your name, then, you know, I think you can't change it back for like, I want to say it's like a week or 2 weeks. It's like a longer period of time. You know, names on wish list wouldn't be a bad idea, probably, especially for like everyday items I need in my house. They have breadsticks on Amazon wish list. Those are breadstick money. Oh, that would be so super nice. I know, right? Hey, Jackass Juror would be a good name, just saying. Yeah, they wanted the small courtroom. They wanted it. They wanted it. Like, they wanted it. They wanted it. It's that simple. I mean, it's bananas to me. Bananas. Like, they got themselves into that mess. So it's like they have to stick with the stories that they've already given the court, right? Like, yeah, I'm going to look into it. I'm going to see. I'm going to look into this whole Amazon thing. Who doesn't like Amazon, you know? I don't think I've gotten an Amazon package in, oh my God, a long time. Oh, there was also lots of issues like that as well. Some kids thought he was creepy, they said. I mean, I can tell you he's definitely a creep. But you are right. There was also some other issues like that. I believe there was some sort of like NDA that was signed, which is why they can't confirm or deny what happened exactly. Because I believe that there was like an NDA that was signed between the parties. I believe that Cannoni will allow Hank to use the phone data in a limited way when it comes to consciousness of guilt. He was already, the other judge already ordered that it be given to him. So I don't see her not letting him use some of it, you know? Exactly, Jimbo. Full of bullshit, Taki. Bullshit. Oh, I bet it was too. I mean, why else would a school sign an NDA? It's just weird to me. Like, what? Why? For what? Like, what reason would they have to sign an NDA? I would tell you to go to fucking hell. Like, yeah, so that was like the court officer went to him and said people were complaining about his facial expressions on TV. And I think it's because people sent emails into the court saying, hey, do you want to maybe tell him to either move his fucking seat or knock it the fuck off? Because it's extremely distracting. Now, he claims that the court officer told him trolls were complaining about his facial expressions. I think it went more like this. Hey, Mr. Sewer Turtle, dinosaur arm man, while you're sitting there pretending to write your wimpy diary, could you please, be more aware of your facial expressions? It's a little distracting to the court. People are complaining. Thank you. Because there's no chance in hell they walked over to him and said, oh, sir, the trolls are complaining about your face. They asked him to stop, is what they did. They said they were getting complaints and they asked him to stop. And then he downplayed that into what he said, which was bullshit. That's what happened. Yep, exactly. A lot of people, you're not the only one. A lot of people sent emails and were like, yeah, something's got to. You have to remember that very last seat where he sits on purpose so that the camera can see him. He does not pay attention to what's happening in court. He does not even take notes on his computer. He just brings it so that he looks like he's doing something. He'll bring it, set it up, open it up like mine's open now in front of me, and he'll sit there. And every so often, when he's not understanding what's going on and he can't follow, he goes back to his computer. He checks other live streams. He goes into the chat of those. He checks Twitter. He writes a few things there. And then he tries to pay attention again. But because he cannot pay attention and he understands absolutely nothing that's being said, he goes right back to the computer again. Like, imagine going into live streams of the thing that you're in the room of. Why are you live streaming or watching the chat of a live stream of something why? Because you have to have control over what you think the chat is saying. He needs to know if the chat is talking about him and his facial expressions. He needs to know if the chat is saying, oh, she's definitely guilty, or oh, she's definitely innocent. He has to know because he is a control freak and he cannot help himself. That is why. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, people are trying to listen. They don't want to see this. And he does it on purpose because he knows the camera sees him. Why not, like any of the other journalists, just take a seat anywhere else but that first seat? Because he knows that first seat is where the camera pans the most because the podium is there. So he wants to be in the camera view. I mean, hell, if he wants to prove he's not a narcissist, tell him to move down a couple seats and not sit in that very, very specific seat. He does it on purpose. And I know a multitude of people, including Ashley here, that sent emails that day. Yeah. It's all the chats open. It's friggin' absurd. Like, it's absurd. And that's another thing. He was posting in yellow cottage shells and then deleting it, being like, oh, my fans. Like, nobody likes you, bro. I don't know why you're here. Like, Janet Reed almost looks like she's in like a party in her head. Like, she's in her own. Yeah, you can send emails from anywhere. You can send them from anywhere. You're watching it on national TV, on Law and Crime and Court TV, so anybody can send one in. So it's just insane. Like, he replied to you. The attorney was addressing the judge pre-first trial. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Listen to your attorney. You're not even listening to your own attorney, bro. Like, not that he ever does. He also lies to his attorneys, which make them look like fools. Like, the hell? Like, just nonsense. Like, if Janet Reed actually came out, this is what Janet Reed looks like. In every interview, it's this. She looks down, stares off, looks like no one's home, looks at her husband for a second, maybe Karen, maybe Smithers, stares off again. She just looks like no one's home. Like, so it wouldn't surprise me if she came up with a dog theory. Just saying. Like, it would not. The email, Ashley, can you tell them what the email is? I would have to look at, it's like Norfolk County something. I'd have to look. I don't know it off the top of my head, but Ashley might know it off the top of her head. Like, how do you not even listen to your own attorney? That's just crazy to me. Like, ridiculous. Like, it's going to throw such a hissy fit if he isn't allowed to be in the courtroom or watch the trial while he waits to be called as a witness. Oh, yeah, Yep. It'll be a memorable meltdown. I'm sure he already has melted down. I don't watch his shows. I get clips of them. Other people watch it for me. I can't stomach the lies. But I've heard that right after he's put on the witness list, he had kind of an epic meltdown. He screamed apparently the other day at a viewer, which he does all the time. And he said, you don't come here and tell me what I can say on my channel. How dare you? He said, you listen to what I have to say, and then you send me a turtle chat, and then you go fuck yourself, and then you send me a turtle chat again, something along the lines of that. And then you take it, and you come back for more, he said. Like, I'm sorry, what? You're screaming at someone, telling them to fuck off, then telling them to send you money, and that they're going to send you money, and then they're going to take whatever you say to them, and they're still going to come back for more. How do people still watch this guy? Like, how? I don't understand. Like, you like that kind of abuse? You people love that kind of abuse? It doesn't add up to me. Like, the fuck? Like, well, he definitely has, but you'd have to email the SJC press office for that. Yeah, no, she's definitely not. Definitely not. Dampered my love of gingers. Oh, no. Hey, listen. I think there are some beautiful redheads. Let me see. I know it. I know the email. Maybe Ashley's looking for it. I don't know. But I know it. Look, though. Because you can email like the clerk. It would be just to the Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham, Massachusetts. So if you could Google that, and then it'll give you emails if you wanted to. I mean, this is what I'll do. Anybody who is in my Discord, actually, Freak, can you get the Discord link for me so I can put it in chat and send it to me on X so that I can put it in chat? But I do, Ashley probably has a mock email. I will put it on my Discord, the email. Absolutely, he does. 100% always does that, Ashley. Okay, so, already in chat. Oh, it didn't pop up because I don't think anybody but me can post links. I have to change that. It's like a thing on YouTube, so I'd have to change like the YouTube chat. And currently, obviously, I use StreamYard, so it shows me like all the comments from like all YouTube, X, all of them in one place. But it doesn't let links go through, so I'll have to post it. So it's Norfolk.clerk's office. I'm going to put it right here. Dot clerk's office. Ooh. It wants to spell check me, you guys. At JUD dot state dot MA dot US. I know, right? Oh my God, why did it do that? Oh my God. This is my life today. Hangry, my computer doesn't want to cooperate. I need a new one. It's like 700 years old. No, it's from like 2020 though. My laptop is old for sure. Hold on. At JUD. It's like popping the letters in like where it wants. Like, no. All right, let's go back now. At dot state dot MA dot US. Yeah, it won't. I gotta fix that. I'm sorry. It's like it won't let anybody else post links, and that's back. I had done it that way back when the cult was like always trying to come in here, you know. My bad. My bad. Okay. Yeah, well, that's I don't mean to be fair. They don't live with him. They live with his ex-wife, but you know, it's a very real possibility on the weekends, though, that they're listening to these ridiculous rants. I don't know how that works, honestly. You're welcome. Put the dots in the spaces. Oh yeah, she's right. Yeah, you would put the dots. Oh yeah, yeah. I did it, so it should be right for the one that I put there. Angela said, does any of this circus of a so-called trial, when boiled down, seem childish at its core? While John lies cold in the grave for over 3 years. Yeah. I mean, I just don't get it, right? Like, why? Why say you're justice for John when you're clearly not? Like, these people like to say, like, oh, we are for justice for John. No, you're for letting the person that harmed him go free. That's not justice for John. not by a long shot. And to sit there and say it is when it's very clearly not, like, hurts the family. You know, if you cared about justice for John, you would care that the correct person goes to jail and not based upon some wackadoo conspiracy theory that can be debunked with just actually looking at the real life pieces of evidence that exist. You know, like, I just can't. It makes no logical sense to me at all. But hey, what do I know, right? I'm just a dummy. I don't have a diary of a wimpy sewer turtle that I can write. Dear Judge, small arms, please stop the leaks. Everybody is conspiracizing against me, and it's not nice. Go fuck yourself. Love, small armed little man, wimpy sewer turtle. Like, that's what we're dealing with at this point. Like, him and his attorney writing fake love letters to the court about things that are untrue and don't exist. Like, that's what we're dealing with, literally. Like, I can't. Like, why would any attorney want to reference this? Why? It's a circus. Why on planet Earth? Why? Why? I feel for these attorneys, but Jesus, find another case to cite. Don't do this. Like, don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do it. Also, while I'm looking and trying to get something here to read for you guys, don't forget, if you haven't already and you just popped in, please give the channel a like and a subscribe and change that little bell notification to all so you'll know when I'm live every time. If you can, please give a small donation to the channel. We really appreciate it, and we only run on donations from our viewers. So if you're not hearing me read them, I'm not getting them. He does live somewhere else. Yes, that is, he does not live with his children anymore. He was kicked out of the marital home when he decided he was going to get a bunch of charges and cheat on his wife with a multitude of women. So no, he does not live at his home anymore. He rents a house or a room or something somewhere on the other side of town. So he drives over there to put the kids on the bus in the morning. So yes, he lives somewhere else, and the kids live with his ex-wife. They did not see him get arrested. By the way, that was a big farce. And I just want to point out that he wanted everybody else to feel bad for him. His children were there. No. His children were already on the bus. The bus was already down the street. They did not see him get arrested. They did not even know he got arrested. Okay. So then he made this big stink to everybody about his poor children and the children and the children. And maybe your children wouldn't have seen anything, you know, and they wouldn't have had to been told why their stuff was gone through if you didn't commit crimes, number one. Number two, he told everybody that they saw it, and everybody sent him iPads for his kids, all new toys, all this money to go buy them all brand new things, as if the cops took all of his children's toys. They didn't. And then later on explained to people that he had to tell them what happened. The children didn't see anything. The cops waited for the bus to be gone and down the street to the point where they wouldn't have seen. They didn't know until after they got home from school that he was arrested. So that was just a big thing. He used his kids as a scapegoat, I guess, or I feel bad for me. So, you know, his children didn't see a goddamn thing. You know, it's sad. You know, there's a kid in the room next to my daughter, or a couple down from my daughter. She was next to us when we were on a different floor. A couple down from my daughter, who's been in the hospital months, just like my kid. And that kid barely has visitors. And like, they have like rooms for, on each floor for anybody to go in, and you can do like arts and crafts or whatever, but they barely have anything for them to do. Like it's all like wiped clean. Like there's nothing left. Like stickers are gone. There's no, paint left, or the only thing that might be left is the paint, but there's nothing to actually paint. Like, missing pieces of games, but there's nothing for older kids. The only thing they have for older kids to do, or, even people who have turned 18, and because you can be seen there, especially if you have a rare disease like my daughter, all the way up until whenever. But like there's nothing for older people to do other than video games. So, but my daughter is a sharer. That's what she does. So the things that she gets, or that we find and bring there for her to do, she'll share with other people so that they have something to do. But that kid barely gets any family. There's one, I think it's the mom. I assume the mom, and that's it. So there are so many better things that people can do than giving your money to a man that's lying to you. Like, literally. Like, oh God, that was awful. That was so terrible to the eyes. And the clips of that will forever haunt my life. Okay? Forever haunt my life, that doll. All right? Wasn't it like an old Raggedy Ann doll too? Like, what the hell? Like, if I agree with you, Ashley. If I was his ex-wife, he wouldn't have any access to those children. None at all. Like, he was sitting in the street with a coffee cup in his hand like a disorganized addict. After we returned from being in jail, was so good. Lip quiver describing his, yeah, because he was afraid. No matter how much he wants to tell you he wasn't, I can tell you, being in the prison, he cried. For the first week, he cried and whined and banged on his cell door. Like, his children are victims as well. The amount of victims that come from that. Yeah. Meanwhile, he terrorizes other people's kids, mine included. Isn't that amazing? He has no boundaries. If anybody says a peep about his kids, it's, all hell breaks loose. It's, how dare you? But it's the same thing with his cult. But they are allowed to just go on tears about everybody else's families and everybody else's kids, and nobody is off boundaries. But the second you say something to them, you must be a terrible, awful person. Okay? They're not terrible, awful people for doing it to people forever and having no boundaries when it comes to minor children, sick children. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. Like, meanwhile, he terrorizes everybody else's family, but God forbid you mention that he's a shitty human being and a shitty fucking parent. That's not allowed. How dare we? How dare we? The man couldn't even kill his own setup turtle. He's a literal shell of a man, acts tough, and then hide behind HBOs. Well, that's another thing. If you're running to the courthouse every 5 minutes to claim that you're afraid of women that you're not afraid of just because you want them to shut up about you, like, I don't know if you told you, but like First Amendment, right? Like, they can say whatever they want. Also, when it's true and you then sue them, like he's trying to do to Lindsay, where he's trying to sue her so that she'll have to be quiet about the things that he has done to her. It's deplorable. It's disgusting. And I want everybody to remember that all these random out of context text messages that you see from some of these cultists that they love to post, like from like a year or two ago, like they are out of context. So if you're taking those to heart as something that like hurts your fifis, like you might want to like think twice, because it's completely out of context and you actually don't know what's being discussed or why. That small part that you saw. And you should probably think twice about just believing it as if it's a thing. I've seen a lot of things lately where someone said, well, I thought Lindsay was a good kid. She is a good kid. She's not a kid though. She's a grown adult woman. And I don't know what would make you think that she wasn't. Is there something that would make you think that she wasn't? Is there a reason? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's like, if you're listening to a bunch of cultists or angry people for whatever their own personal reason is, like, maybe go to the source and talk to the person first before you just make an assumption. It's always smarter to talk to whoever like you have a question with first than to just make assumptions based on what these people tell you, because almost always the shit that they're spewing is bullshit. Like, yeah, exactly. Show us on the doll. And that's what he did. Like, basically, it was like an old Raggedy Ann doll. I will never get that out of my brain. I am scarred for life for that. That poor fucking doll. Yeah, exactly. The poor doll. Oh, make no mistake. He absolutely is. He's a fucking snitch, a rat. Like, that's probably why he doesn't fare well in jail. If you didn't see it, don't ever try. Don't ever, you will never forgive yourself. Don't do it. It's harmful to your brain. Like, yeah, it was to try to like recreate the butt dial. Like, yeah, exactly. Karma is incoming. Hardcore incoming. Like, claims that about everybody, but then sits there and posts about everybody else's children. It's disgusting. Like, Lindsay's a very good friend of mine. She's a very good friend of mine, and what she's been through is deplorable. It's disgusting. It's unconscionable. And I'll tell you this much. If you have some shit to say about her, then you're going to have to come through me first. It's that simple. We'll just put it that way. It's as plain as day. As if you have shit to talk about her, it wouldn't be smart to do it to me. Most people are smart enough not to. But that's my friend, and I'm going to defend her at all costs. So if this is why I am still here. Like, I will defend the people that I care about and the people that I love. Because the cult doesn't even know these people. So you're harassing people you don't even actually know. That's the amazing part. Like what? You don't even know half of us, but you magically know because he told you so. Like, do you know how ridiculous that sounds? Like, well, they don't have limits. That's the problem, Scorpio. They don't have any, you know? Nothing's beneath them. They tried to attack my terminally ill child. I mean, come on, dude. Nothing is beneath them. Nothing. Not a goddamn fucking thing. Let's just make that abundantly clear here. Like, yeah, it was at his parents' house. You know, it was at his parents' house. You know, that's one thing that I'm dying to know. Did she return to the scene? If she did, Hank has that data. He's got 8 gigabytes of new data, including when John took his seatbelt off and the temperature of his phone. So I have no doubt that he has the time that John took his seatbelt off. Then he also has the time that the sensor on the seat says that a person got up out of the seat, which would be probably the time John got out of that car. So I am dying to see what's in that data. I don't think she slept. I think there was like an hour period of time in her phone data where there's no activity. So if she did sleep, she slept for like an hour, you know? I'll defend him too because he has too many. There's too many victims. Too many. He can't be allowed to just keep lying and slandering and fake suing with fake evidence and trying to shut people up. It's no, dude, no. You know? Yeah, time and place. I would love to know if they have the GPS coordinates though, because again, 8 gigabytes is a lot of data. That's a lot of data, dude. A lot. Like, well, you're totally right about that, though, Jimbo. They could have a video of her doing it, and they would just say it's fake, it's doctored, someone made it up, it's not actually Karen, even if you could see her face clearly. So it doesn't really matter. Like, even if you showed it to them, and it was right fucking there, like, and you can't. A class action is more for, like, a company, like you would be suing a company or your old employer or something like that. Like, I suppose you could sue his website company or whatever as a class action, I suppose. I have to look into that. Because that might be an option. But I think the bigger problem is Lindsay's got to get through her court case first. And she needs our help. She needs our help with that. On my X, it's pinned. Her defense fund is pinned, and so she needs our help. If there's data showing Karen did a drive-by, the defense will just say, "Oh, she was out looking for him, but she never saw him." Oh, and if she did, and she got close enough, John's Bluetooth connected. See, that's the thing, right? And I've thought about that. If she did go back and John's phone was still on, his Bluetooth would have connected to it. So if there is data that she did go back, then we're going to see John's phone reconnect. And I think that would be the nail in her coffin, because she can claim that she went back past the scene and didn't see him, but she just told Jen that she left him at the waterfall. So that's not going to bode well for her, right? It's just not. Like, well, he claims a lot of things, especially if you're going to say you're an independent journalist. Okay, you're a journalist, but then you can say whatever you want because it's just satire. No, it's one or the other. That's not. It's first, he used to argue in his lawsuits it was his opinion. That's how he won. But now, since he's been screaming from the rooftops, he's a journalist. That's not going to fly anymore. You know? Even if you subtract the original data, it's still over 5 gigs. Yeah, that's a lot of fucking gigs. A lot of information. Like, a lot. Like, the videos I've been making are around 2 gig for each 10-second run. Yeah, it's just a lot, you know? I am never going to show that video on my channel, so you're better off going back to his and watching it. Never, ever in my life will I show that video here. It's deplorable. Yeah, it's still a ton of data. Like, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It was still on because they recorded the movement when they took it from him. I forgot. You are correct. So it would have the Bluetooth would have, hooked into it. Like, yeah, Hank's got quite a bit close to that vest. I think there's quite a few things you guys are going to see in this second trial. They're going to be like, wow, why didn't we have this in the goddamn first one? Like, he's an independent moron. He is an independent moron, Frank. You are freaking right. Like, can't work out if we would have heard already if her GPS showed a return scene. Well, I don't know. We didn't have all the data, remember? They didn't get all the data. So, like, with this extra chip off, there's a very real possibility with the amount of data that they got that maybe this time it's in that set of data, AJ called him a blogger in court. He did. So many people he hates, by the way, when you call him a blogger. So make sure you absolutely call him a blogger. I'm just saying, just make sure you do that. Like, it is a fact. He is a blogger, and it is a fact. Like, Carrie knew before she called Carrie John's dead. Yeah, she called Carrie and was like, Carrie John's dead, and then hung up. Like, what that is weird shit, bro. Like, do you not think that the more you speak about TV, the more credit he gets on the internet? No, I'm not sure how it works, but if his name keeps coming up, he researched that. I don't give a shit if he researches it. No offense. I just don't care. Like, if he is allowed to sit there and slander and defame people, then I'm going to hit back. And no, we call him the sewer turtle over here anyway. So, like, I mean, yeah, I honestly don't give a shit one way or another, whether he does or doesn't watch anything that I do. I don't watch him, so I don't care. But I'm still going to do what's right in defending the people that he harmed knowingly, and saying what I need to say for my piece, And I don't think he gets more credit. No, I mean, most people know he's a scumbag piece of shit. It's just a very loud minority of the same 45-ish people that have been following him for years that seem to think he's like the cat's meow, that are just loud. Most people know and won't deal. He has blown so many bridges when it comes to media companies, other journalists, the TV shows that will never have him on again because of the way that he acts. And that's on him and nobody else. And if that doesn't speak volumes to who he is, I don't know what does, Well, that's the thing, right? The evidence isn't all like Hank has quite a bit. We don't know, like, to the extent of what Hank has. Like, oh God, I can only imagine. It was spot on. I guess the data could show a return to the scene and it just hasn't been leaked. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, we don't know what's on that new data. We don't know. If she returned to the scene and Hank has that is going to be very, very bad for her. Could you imagine if John is Bluetooth connected back on her car when she went back? Yeah, that would just be like, that would just torpedo her case. Just completely torpedo it. Not that it's not already torpedoed anyway with the friggin' extensive evidence against her, you know? The first to have seen it would be Welcher. It'd be in his report, which defense have now seen. Well, that's why do you ever hear the defense saying anything about the car data? No, nothing. You don't hear them say a freaking word about it. Not a single word. I hope they have more evidence, although unlikely on the Ring video deletion. Yeah, once it's deleted for Ring, you just, unfortunately, it just really doesn't come back. So I don't think they will, but it would be so effing great if they could magically prove that Karen deleted it. She's the only person who had access to delete it. We know she did, you know, but there's no proof of it. But in my opinion, she's the only person who had access and means to be able to delete it. And just magically, the very portions of it that would prove innocent or guilt, right, are just gone. Which leads you to one conclusion, is there's no innocence that can be proven there, right? Her guilt can, and that's why she got rid of it. She's the only person who had access to be able to delete it. Just pieces of it, parts of it are deleted. Very convenient parts at that. Like, yeah, it would have a reduced range, but that would at least prove he didn't go in the house. You know what I mean? I know. You are his kryptonite. He does not like that. He doesn't like it when you say he has small arms either. Don't say that. Just don't say that. Don't say he's little. He doesn't like that either. Don't tell him he's little. And don't tell him what to say. He doesn't like that either. Don't do that. All that gym time where he does finger push-ups, talking shit online. Yeah, that I want to know where she was when she did that voicemail specifically. You're welcome, Suzanne. I mean, her demeanor is always puzzling for a defendant. You know, I don't understand it. Well, that's exactly it, freak, is the defense only leaks what they want to twist to their narrative. That's it. The Commonwealth doesn't leak. They can't. It's just not how it works. That's why we haven't found out what's in that data yet, you know? The only people who have that are Hank and Karen. And I think she knows that if you're not gonna leak it if it's not gonna help you, and it surely isn't gonna help. If you can't twist it to help you, and you cannot twist that to help you, then she isn't gonna leak it. It's the one reason why we haven't seen that leak yet. Everything that's been leaked thus far has been leaked by her camp, by her or the sewer turtle or people involved with both of them or one of them. That's where all the leaks are coming from. That's where we get all the information. Little do they know. Like, oh, you mean Mr. Burns and Smithers? Yeah, Smithers and Mr. Burns. These people. Like, you know? Maestro said, last trial they showed things like library CCT with a flash of a black car, and jury had to assume. This time they can show our GPS, follow that, and then bring up the CCT to confirm. Well, that's the thing. She didn't go back past the library. We know that. So I don't even know why they're even bringing the library footage into anything. Like, there's no missing library footage. There's no missing belt. There's no missing shoe. There's no missing hat. There was no taillight on top of the snow. They didn't lose money on the house. Oh my God. So many lies that were told to the cultists. Yeah. Dino arms. That's what he has. Little baby arms. Little baby. They're all just little baby ones. Little baby ones. Little baby ones. It's magically malicious. He's a caramel. Gargamel. How likely will it be that the sewer turtle turns state's evidence to save his own hide? You know, for a while I thought that, like in the beginning, that maybe he would. Now I know that just like Karen, his ego will not allow him to. It's just not allowable. It's just not. Like, they will keep arguing until the end of time that everything was just a giant setup and it's all a giant conspiracy, and that's that. Like, they will never, ever, ever admit that they were wrong or that they got duped. Ever. Ever. The cult will never admit to it. He will never admit he lied to people. She will never admit that she lied to him. It's an ongoing over and over and over again nonsense. The reconnecting to John's Wi-Fi or car GPS will correct that slight time difference too. It closes any loose ends. Yes, it does. That's for sure. They subpoena Ring for log of actions taken on the account. I don't know. That's a good question. I remember them getting stuff from Ring and then Ring saying something like, if it was deleted, they don't keep the log of that, even the activity log, something like that. So I'm not sure. I have to look into that a little bit more and see. Wonder why Mommy and Hetty weren't at the last hearing. Are they still alive? Well, Smithers just watched part of the documentary and was nearly sick. Yeah, wait till you see the whole thing. You're going to be even sicker. I don't know which parts you watched, but it gets worse. It gets worse. It absolutely gets freaking worse. For GPS data, Bluetooth connection logs just need a tiny bit more of data and it's cooked. Oh boy. Now I'm hungry. I'm hangry. Okay, I've been hangry for like 3 hours now. I am hangry myself. Yeah, I remember Proctor washed John's clothes. That was another one that his clothes got washed. That was another one of those lies that were told to people. It's just freaking amazing to me. Like, do people forget that Karen said she was going back to Mansfield and leaving the fucking kids alone and supposedly left to go to Mansfield? I clocked the time. Canton to Mansfield. No way. No, she definitely didn't go back to Mansfield. We know that. Is that documentary available anywhere to download on YouTube yet? It's not on YouTube, but it's on Max. I know you're overseas, but Max, it's on Max. So you can watch it on the Max app. Oh, you did? You got it in the UK for free? Hey, ask Potluck then, because I don't, here it isn't. You got to watch it on Max or ID. Investigation Discovery. You have to have cable. I don't have cable, so I had to do it a different way. No way she could have made it in that time frame. She made these allegations on her phone calls to John that night. Yeah, she didn't go back to Mansfield. We know that. And she was, yeah, trying to get a reaction, obviously. Oh, Paramount Plus. I had Paramount Plus. I don't have it anymore. I just had to go for it. I'm starving. It's making me even more hungry. I don't know if it's is it the ID Discovery website? Yeah, I think was the ID Discovery website I went to? I think it was the ID Discovery website that I went to, and I signed in with somebody else's cable login because I don't have cable. And then I was able to watch it that way. But that was when it first came out. I know that it's now been moved to Max. You can watch it on Max. But I believe the way I looked it up, because I watched it on my phone, was the ID Discovery website. I don't have satellite. I wish I had satellite. I actually like satellite, to be honest. Satellite. I haven't had cable in years. I just use streaming services. It's cheaper. It is cheaper. That is for sure. I just want to make sure there's no donations I have to read. Actually, I haven't gotten any today, which is unusual. Actually, so do I. I don't know how you guys do that. I am behind because I do not wish to miss anything. Judge Cannoni should have learned from the last trial about all the hijinks going on with the defense and jury. She hasn't learned much. No, I don't think she has. That's part of the problem. Is that she hasn't learned much. It's sad, but true. All right. Oop. What I do have is an Eversource bill. Yay. Hundreds of dollars for gas. Yay, just what I wanted. I need to let it go the satellite, that is, but I love my old movies. Listen, I love old cartoons from like the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, so I hear ya. She might be scared of them. I think she's more scared of appeals, but not everything is appealable. So, and also when there's sound legal ground that even if they tried to appeal, they wouldn't win. Like, you can't rule based on appeals. You can't. Like, you just can't. I did apply for fuel assistance. I'm still waiting. I have not either seen a judge allow so much disrespect. I have not. I will call you. I'm sorry, I got busy. I had phone call with the doctors and then homework and dinner with the little, and sometimes I feel like I don't even have time to breathe or sit for 5 seconds or anything, you know? Did she? Wait, let me check the docket. On keeping out testimony. Oh, yeah. Well, we already knew that was going to be ruled against on the docket. That was the one I was reading you guys last, which I was waiting for the thing on to show that. So it was like defense's motion to stop the witness basically from testifying. And I knew it would just be denied, because if you're going to let Marie Russell and you're going to let Arca in, then there is zero reason that she would ever not allow any of the Commonwealth witnesses. You just wouldn't be able to, you know? Like, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, different laws in different states too, Suzanne. It depends on what state you live on. That's why when people come to me and ask me to help them with like electric or gas bills, and if you have asthma and whatever, I have to ask them what state they live in, because it's different in different states. Massachusetts is your kid has to be under 1 for it to apply for just a child. A sick child is different. Yeah. So yeah, I could apply for that. I'd prefer to just pay it and get fuel assistance though. It's just absurd. As you know, our friggin' gas bills went through the roof. Last month was insane. And this one, I feel like, where was our savings that we were supposed to get? That we clearly did. I clearly didn't get. I don't know what the fuck happened. But thanks, you know, to our fucking government, like assholes. I know they can't. You have to apply for that. Believe me, I know. I've been an advocate long enough to, but you have to apply for that. I did not apply for that because I'd prefer to just pay it. If I ever needed to, I would, though. I have my own medical too, so it's not just her, me too. So, which is why I always squirm in my chair, because the pain is real. They have become the new aliens. You are right. I did apply already. I'm just waiting for the fuel assistance. I applied already. All these appeals Karen has lost, and people have seen this, and their questions or thoughts will be why. No, they just say that the judge is corrupt and in on it. That's their like thing. Like, oh, the judge is in on it and corrupt. Like, what? She has given more gifts to the defense in this case than I have ever seen another judge do, and things that she should not have given them. Marie Russell should have never been allowed in. Arca should have been outed this second time, and for the first time, they should have been forced to give them all of the evidence, you know? So it is what it is. Oh, believe you, girl. Believe you me, Suzanne. I have filled out any form I needed to for the assistance that I need. I've been doing this a long time, helping other people, so I knew exactly what to do. It just takes time, unfortunately. Everything is a wait in game after you fill out everything and send everything in. Oh, girl, listen, if I could tell you how long it would take for the First Circuit to appeal, I would. I do not know. They're going to do it on their own time. You know, they're going to take as long as they want, as short as they want, and we won't know. Hopefully, they will quickly and swiftly. I know you are. I know you're just trying to help, Suzanne. I get it. Believe me. I do the same thing because I just want to help, you know. But I've been doing this 18 years as a volunteer advocate, so I'm pretty savvy when it comes to that stuff. I'm better, obviously, at getting help for other people than I am for myself, but that's usually because I'm swamped with trying to help other people that I run out of time for myself. But, you know, welcome to my life. But the First Circuit's going to take as long as it's going to take, unfortunately. I wish I knew. I wish I had the answer to that for you guys. I wish I did. I think that if they know that we're on the, you know, cusp of a trial, the First Circuit will hurry up and just deny that stay, but that's not really the one we're waiting for. We're sort of waiting for the other one. We're waiting for them to just say it's not double jeopardy so that the trial can then, the jurors, when we get them, are sworn in and we can move forward. And that undoubtedly will happen, but just when is the question, right? Like, we need a when, and obviously we don't have the answer to that. I wish I did. Yeah, and they will all continue to deny. She's got 2 things outstanding. She's got the appeal for the appeal on double jeopardy. And then she has the stay that she asked for from the First Circuit. Both will be denied undoubtedly, but when is the question? And I wish I had that answer for you guys. I don't, but I wish that I did, because I want to know the answer to that. I would like to know when, and could they just do it now so that we don't have to worry about it, you know? They do. They call her biased. They call her horrible. It's like, but as soon as she gives them something that they want, she's fine. They don't say anything. It's cool. It's fine. It's great. I don't think she's corrupt. I just think that she needs to get some control of her damn courtroom, and she needs to start laying down the law in her courtroom instead of allowing them to steamroll over her. Like, I've never seen a judge allow this kind of steamrolling to be done, you know? Do you approve of the new? No, I don't. I don't approve on the new guy. I think the guideline should have been further. I think it should have been at least 500 feet, if not more. And I get it. It's past some more businesses, which are like right there. But, and that's about I don't know, 100, maybe 100, 200 feet, 100 maybe feet. I don't know. But I think it should have been the order should have been at least 500 feet. We need to get we watch out closer to prison. Yeah, we do. Right. I don't crack fire stick. Yeah, I don't have a fire stick. I have Roku. Mine are Rokus, not fire sticks. Trying to teach AI some ethics, morals, and common sense. Wish me luck. Yeah, right. Listen, if you could teach it that, also teach it. I did go over that, Jane. That was sort of close to the beginning. The new attorney / old alternate juror. I do think you'll see Hank say something about that. But if you can teach AI ethics and morals and common sense, you let me know. You get a good pat on the back for that, girl. But I did. Yes, I did go over that. That is in the show. I know the show is 3 hours long, but I did go over it. And when the transcripts pop up after I'm not live anymore, you should be able to just type in the words juror or something and see all the places where we talked about it. But I do think we'll see something from Hank about that, because it's just unethical. There's certain boundaries that shouldn't be crossed. That should be a very clear one. A juror should not just also hop on the defense for the same person they were a juror or alternate juror on their case already. It's just, you know. Well, if the third party defense is denied, they'll go for a Bowden defense, which is basically criticizing the police investigation. That's what they'll try for, at least, is a Bowden defense. They're already doing like half third party, half Bowden. Like, the stay from the federal court was denied last week, and then she appealed that and asked the First Circuit to give her a stay. So, yeah, I have no doubt that they will also say no. Did Yannetti add her to his firm just for this reason? I mean, looks like she skipped around jobs since she got on the bar in 2021. It looks like she's had 2 other jobs at 2. She was like a clerk at one place, and then the employment law firm, and now this. So it looks like maybe she wasn't even employed, or if she was, why would you jump from that job to criminal when you don't even practice criminal law? It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. Court TV was like great insight. I love Court TV, especially my friend Julie Grant, who is amazing, and she's on at 8 a.m. Every morning, Monday through Friday. So if you guys really want like truth about this, she goes over this a lot, the case a lot. Watch Julie Grant. And I order her to ignore the media and focus on the evidence that it complies. Did it comply? Ignore the ask Grok. I wonder if Grok will actually ignore like the noise and actually go over the evidence. The defense wanted the small courtroom. Now they have so many. Yeah, they need a football field. Exactly. But you know what? From now, they're going to have to deal with the small courtroom. Oh, well, too bad. Yeah, that Vanity Fair article was a disaster for that juror, lawyer, whatever you want to call her these days. Yeah, it breaks my heart too, Diana, and I try the best I can. Unfortunately, I cannot control what everybody else does. I can only do what I can do. So, but I try the best I can to do my part in all of it. Yeah, there was granted post his best guess of the map for the buffer zone. Yes, Julie Grant is brilliant because she's not willing to sit there and lie like Vinnie Politan and be a shill. She's willing to say it how it is, and that's why I love Julie so much. And I tell her that, like, that's I can appreciate that because she's not afraid to just say the truth. Yeah, she had twin boys. She has infant twin boys right now. So maybe that's the gap. But yeah, she has twin sons. Oh, yeah, listen, I've talked about jury being sequestered since the first trial. I believe they should have been sequestered in the first trial. I believe they should have been sequestered in this trial. Do I think it'll happen? No. Massachusetts hates doing it. Do I think it should happen? Yes, it should. Vanity Fair should get backlash, especially that puff piece they did about Karen. They did not do any retractions to some of the false information they put in there. And they didn't do any retractions to some of the information that they so kindly put in there that was false. So they should get heat for that. And also for this. Like, I mean, come on. Like, yeah, I don't know why anybody would think that like Julie Grant and Grant are related, like his first name and her last name. People are idiots. Like, the stay was denied that okay. So the stay was denied, and then she appealed that and asked again for it to be stayed. So a second appeal of that. I think that's like confusing people because you're not the first person that said that to me. I think it's confusing people that she appealed the denial of the stay, basically, is what she did, and asked them to still stay it. It'll be denied, so it doesn't. But I mean, the court doesn't want to swear in the jurors. Canoni doesn't want to swear in the jurors until the other federal thing. Yes, but they're not. That's the thing. They're not continuing the case. So we're continuing the case, but they're not swearing in the jury until the federal court comes back with their decision when it comes to the double jeopardy thing. She got a denial on the stay and then went a step further to ask for it again. So, like, we're still waiting on that too. So there's two outstanding things that are not in a state court right now. Yeah, that's the problem. The appeals and the asking different courts. There's a process where you would appeal state, federal, you know what I'm saying? And then you would appeal that, and then you would go on. There's only so many things you can do, but they are working their way up that little system of trying to get what they want. They're trying real, real hard to have it stayed or called double jeopardy. It'll never be called double jeopardy, and it'll never be stayed. But Canoni's not going to swear in the jury until the federal court says it's not double jeopardy again, because then it would apply if they magically said it did. Vanity Fair went from being a homespun fashion magazine to an incredible investigative magazine to the cult. Yeah, they're not very good at what they do. That's for sure. I think Brennan will absolutely crush anything the defense presents. Oh, so do I. And will establish his case with certainty. What I fear are a few tainted jurors biased towards the defense. That's the thing that I fear. I think Hank will nail it. No problem. But I think that's why they're being very careful when it comes to the jurors. And I just hope that they're doing their best because something's got to give. If Karen had been in her Lexus in the court the other day, Hank would be yeah, she would have Karen readed him. That's the look she gave him. Like she was ready to Karen read him. Like, Yeah, it cracks me up too, because it's like, oh, she's only biased when she doesn't give you what she wants. Got it. Sure. Like, yeah, lots of innocent behavior, all kinds of. He is not, and he will not leave any stone unturned. Hank will not leave any stone unturned. He will look everywhere to make sure. All right, guys, let me check real quick. I do have to hop off. I love you all. Karen readed him. Yeah, Karen readed him. What we call it these days, She looked like she wanted to Karen read him. All right, no donations to read. All right, I am going to let you guys go. I'll be back with you guys at 10 in the morning. Well, a little bit before that, because that's when the hearing is going to happen, is 10 in the morning tomorrow. So I will be back with you guys then. In the meantime, if you can give the stream a like and a subscribe, I would appreciate it. A share with people who haven't seen the show before. If I do get any donations when I'm not live anymore, my replay crew, one of you guys, I will happily read it tomorrow to give you a big thanks. I'm hangry, so I'm going to go figure out something to eat right now, so I am not hangry later on. But I love your stinking faces, and I will see you guys in the morning. Bye now.